Jesse, we are live back in the flat, straight off a beautiful round 12 of football. You're happy?
Yeah, relatively speaking. It's nice to be on the winners list. I think that's the first time we've live streamed an Eagles win since I've moved to Melbourne, Dylan. So long may that continue.
You said that actually on the stream. I didn't think that was true. But
yeah, we only did a few, to be fair. And we've only won a few too. But we have West Coast versus North Melbourne in a fortnight. We're going to be live streaming that too, Dylan.
You confident on that?
I think we are more of a chance than your body language suggests we are. That's about as far as I'd go. I'd say 40-60.
40-60.
Yeah.
I know I was super confident last time and we lost.
Couldn't happen twice, could it, Dylan?
Couldn't happen again. I don't know. I just have this feeling with that North Melbourne have kind of... I acknowledge the fact that we lost that game.
We're getting some buffering.
Again.
Yeah, sorry guys. If just want to make sure that's not just a mine. Let us know if we are coming through beautifully and crisply. We are a little bit gun shy, having had some buffering issues last night.
We are a little gun shy.
It is possible it was fine the whole time, and I'm just being a drama queen.
We are also on sideline.
We are on sideline.
Let's have a look at the stream. I'm not getting any, Jesse.
Okay, I might have just jumped the gun there.
He's jumped the gun. You know that scares me a lot.
How else do you avoid bullets? We have Lewis in the chat. This is live and in demand. Sukhpreet says Essendon were missing Durham, Caldwell, McGrath, Redmond, Kako, Sharp, Ridley, May, who got injured the first 5 minutes. Umpires gave you 4 dodgy free kick goals. Keep that in mind with analysis. Doesn't want to give me an inch.
Yeah, and also like preempting the review.
Yeah.
Like, don't you fucking dare.
Yeah, don't take credit for this. Fair enough.
Oh, that is so good. What would you say about that game? Obviously, we're pretty fresh off it and we kind of picked it apart, but it kind of felt like it was a good performance from West Coast, but it kind of felt like too much of a scalp at the same time, given where Essendon are at.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But you have to say it's growth from West Coast, where like the rare occasions we've gone in favourites in games, we never win.
Yeah.
And, you know, even last year to beat a team by 5 goals and lead by 1 point at 53 points, that's still better than what we've previously dished up. So at the same time, I don't want to take too much away from the Eagles. But obviously, we know what Essendon are going through. And I think in reality, Essendon were much worse, if at all, than West Coast. I think they're actually better than the latter position suggests.
West Coast?
No, I think Essendon are not as bad as one win suggests. I think their injuries are playing a factor.
Of course. And overall,
yeah,
like holistically.
Like their form is way below what they're actually.
I kind of, at the same time, like I think that they are where they're at from kind of what they've put out on the field at the same time. I don't think there's any wins that they left out on the table.
No. I think they're just capable of playing a lot better, and they're in horrific form. It's compounded by injuries, of course. But I think the real Essendon is a little bit better than what they're playing right now.
Perhaps, yeah. I think West Coast is a bit of a different story. I think fairly hard on the Eagles.
We are getting buffering and choppiness now. It is coming through in the chats, not just me.
Oh, no.
Sorry, guys.
No. Oh, yeah, no, I am getting it.
Yeah. So it doesn't look like we are... Oh, no, we are live on Sideline.
Wait, live on Sideline?
Yeah, as well. I'll put the link in the chat for those who want to listen on Sideline as well. Forgive us. Had some bad luck. Maybe it's the bad weather, Dylan.
Don't know.
I don't know. I'm a bit of a boomer when it comes to...
My theory on the reason that it happened last night is now dead in the water. So...
Okay.
That's interesting, if anything. Let's have a little play with...
Bradley Spencer says, I was at the Eagles game and the conditions were atrocious. Very difficult to kick and show skills in those conditions. I think that's very valid. Yeah, the skills were off. Obviously, neither of these sides are particularly skillful sides. As I can see a little bit of frame rate loss there on our feedback.
That's all right. That's not the stream.
And Connor saying audio is actually quiet.
Audio is quiet.
Yeah. So let us know, guys.
I listened back last night to the stream, like the issues that we're having, and there was like a moment where the audio just went like robotic. Like it was like, that kind of thing.
Interesting. I thought you were just doing a funny voice.
Yeah, it sounded like that in real time. I think we are good right now. I can't guarantee that we're not going to have any ongoing issues, but I think we're okay now.
I think so, yeah.
Let us know in the chat.
Spaxon says, what are your thoughts on a grand final month? Turn the grand final to a best of 3 format. Have a game each weekend.
Sorry, say that again.
A best of 3 format for a grand final.
A best of 3 format. That's
Yeah.
very American, isn't it?
It is, yes.
I suppose soccer also does, like the British system is a double. They often
Yep.
play over 2 legs for,
Yeah, home and away.
Champions Leagues and stuff like that.
Yep.
I mean, I'd get around it. I'd get around that.
I do like the mystique and the grandioseness, that's not a word, of one grand final. I like the do or die.
It fits into our
element.
system a lot, doesn't it? Like we don't reward the season very much at all in the AFL. You get your kind of your grid position, like you're on a starting grid of a Formula One race.
That's true.
And then it's go from there. You've got to be almost perfect.
Yeah.
And we've changed that over time a little bit too, haven't we? So pre-2000, it was a top 6 that got a second chance.
Okay.
But it was a weird system that. It was like when you...
Before my time.
Yeah, I guess it was. I won't digress onto that for too much longer. But yeah, you pretty much have to be perfect in the finals, and there is some sort of mystique around that, and it can provide some like unique winners too.
Yeah.
Like Dogs winning from 7th, the Lions winning from 5, obviously.
Yeah.
Kind of famous examples of that. Like you've got to get your part of the preparation for an AFL season is getting yourself to be playing your best football at the end.
Yeah, that's true. We're seeing time and time again. In fact, I think it's a minority of premiership teams that have actually finished on top of the ladder come the end of the home and away season.
That's right.
Yeah, so I'd rather keep it the way it is. But it's hard to argue it wouldn't be fairer. Like one home and away, one home, one away, and then one at the MCG. Mind you, there's probably still an advantage for an MCG team.
Yeah,
but that's already the case.
I do think. I know I said that it would be it would be a cool idea, but I'd probably still stick with what we have.
Yeah.
At the moment, I do think people get a little bit sometimes like caught up in that with like everything's got to be like perfectly fair.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, and that's I've been going on about this for the last few weeks with the arc and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's been mistakes like for the entire history of the game. So why are we now changing it to be perfect?
I agree on the arc stuff and some of the in-game stuff. I don't think it needs to be
as perfect
monitored to be perfect. I think that's a very different issue to the inequities that exist in our league around the fixture. That being said, I am also one saying let's keep it as one grand final, but the fixture I think is a problem.
Yes, that's throwing you out, isn't it?
That?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. So
I'm gonna do something about that.
Yeah,
so that you don't.
The screen we've got of ourselves is lagging really badly. I'm also watching us down here on YouTube, and it seems to be fine. And I think we've just a little bit.
Yeah, this like that's just a projector view, and it gets sort of glitchy sometimes.
People are saying the stream is better now.
Oh, that is good.
Morse Rom says season is already long enough. I'd argue 7 straight weeks of finals footy would be tough on the players, plus shorter pre-seasons. Yeah, that's true.
How can we better? I think a better question here is like, how could we better fix the season? Because the one thing that I don't really like the fact that we play random teams twice.
Yeah.
The difficulty of that, like so much comes into like, who's got the easy fixture this year? Who plays the bottom 4? And I think that becomes more prevalent as the gap between, at least at the moment, I think it's probably the bottom 4 teams in particular this season, or the bottom 3 teams, maybe the West Coast, Richmond, Essendon. You're getting a free run. Like you get a free hit playing those 2 teams, the 3 teams twice.
Yeah, like North Melbourne and GWS had free hits at West Coast.
Yeah, exactly right. We enjoyed our free. You can't help yourself. I knew it.
Every now and then.
He'll be like, we are the most unskillful football team that's ever existed. And then the next minute he's like, but we're not an easy beat.
Yeah.
We're hard to beat.
I think we might just be out of the zone where 2 games against us is an easy win.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just this season.
Let's make that a bit more of just a. It has been that way, and North has been in that conversation too.
Yeah.
We're kind of not this year. We're a harder team to beat this year, but we have been for sure.
I agree with your overall point, which is that the fixture is a big problem. How can we make it fairer? I'm not sure because I don't like the other alternatives. I mean, one way of doing it is. Well, I don't want to play less footy. I don't want to play like just the 18 rounds once Tassie comes in.
More's not always better though. That can be a bit of a catch. Like I want more football, but sometimes like playing less games could mean that they're more impactful.
That's true. There's also financial sort of ramifications of that. Obviously, there's a lot less money in the league suddenly. Players are getting paid less, and then I think that will have trickle down and have impacts on the game. But I do want more. As a fan,
you want more footy.
Greedy, I want more footy. Well, at least not less than what we have now. But another potential avenue the game could move toward is like a conference system.
Yeah.
And then not completely moving the league into 2 separate entities, but just fixturing around travel a little bit better and say like the West Australian teams probably only like they'll go to SA more often than they would go to Melbourne.
Yep.
Well, okay, the math on that doesn't work out, but you know what I mean.
I get
teams in the same region.
Yeah.
That mitigates some.
Essentially
of the
like East-West in the NBA.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
That type of thing.
Exactly.
I think like college football does that significantly to have less travel as well.
Yeah.
Which would also make it more fair for the WA teams, for example, right?
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't have to have that big trip as regularly.
Yeah. Again, though, you don't want to stop Fremantle versus Collingwood. You want to have that as a fixture in the home and away season too. So
yeah,
I don't know what the answer is, but I think that's possible.
I do think there would be a mystique though, and some sort of a fascination for me in the fact that you could have two of the best teams in the country not play each other, and you're waiting for it.
Yeah, okay.
It would be a frustration when they didn't meet if they somehow didn't qualify, and there was like, so you had like two teams dominating, and then they didn't play through to their finals. You're like, damn it! Like I wanted to see Freo play Collingwood, but
yeah. The draft then also has a knock-on effect because if you have two different ladders, then who gets pick one?
That's true. But then we've discussed for a long time the possibility of having a draft lottery, for example, so you could do something around that.
Yeah, true.
It's getting very, very NBA
Yeah.
American at this point, though, isn't it?
is.
Like, did we just go too far?
Absolutely. We got Lewis in the super chat. Thank you so much. He says, should there be Monday Night Footy when Taz joins? Well, that would throw out our show.
That would throw out our show. It's funny. I would have said before I started doing content, I would have 100% been like, yes, I like the football being spread as much as it possibly can so that you can watch the games live.
Yes, true.
I hate the overlapping fixtures and I still hate them. A selfish part of me now would be like, I need the days. I need the spare days to
100%.
prep and it would be hard. But as a football fan, I agree with the premise.
But the content, I think, also performs better when there's no footy on.
It does.
Monday to Thursday is when you upload your videos, generally speaking.
But it's also just a time factor, not even a views thing.
Yeah,
just
I
like
agree.
how do I watch all of this over these days? I never get that time to myself just to sit down and process it all.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally agree. That being said, on Tasmania though, I mean, there's not going to be an extra game per round. So there's no real reason yet.
Unless they bring a 20th team.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a good point.
The double Friday might be a more regular thing.
Yeah. Oh, that's gross.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Oh, I just want one game on Thursday, one on Friday.
Yeah.
Spread them out across the Saturday.
Yeah, so there'd be 10 games in there. So you could go 5 on Saturday and 3 on Sunday.
5 on Saturday. So you can have two Saturday nights?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
that's what we do now.
And 3 during the day.
Yeah,
like
one twilight
stagnated
fixture.
Yep. And then 3 on Sunday. I like that.
That's hot.
That's sexy. You get me all excited, Jesse. We've got 90 in the chat. People are making their way in, I think, because
post on Instagram too.
We've had a bit of a slow start. We had some technical difficulties. Hopefully, we've got that behind us.
Dylan, this is another weekend where neither of our teams lost.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't play, which makes that a little bit easier.
That's as good as a win
to happen. But yeah, no, you're right. We haven't got normally. I mean, typically we're both pretty pessimistic coming into this stream. We've both lost, and we're trying to unpack why that's the case. And this is good stuff.
Yeah. This is about as happy as it gets.
Do you like? I kind of touched on it before, but like, do you feel like West Coast are turning a corner a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. It's kind of a question of what would you prefer? Would you prefer to be beaten by a medium amount 95% of the time? Or would you rather be winning games and the arse fall out every now and then?
Fucked up by the Swans.
Yeah, I think neither's perfect because to some extent the big losses have to stop at some point, obviously. But I think the fact that we're able to compete for longer in general, I think has been a huge step forward. And then the young players are getting better.
I was going to say, so like this is the thing I think that's the biggest thing with West Coast at the moment. Harley Reid, and I don't want to do the WA Vic bias thing, but like if he was playing for a Victorian team, he would be more spoken about more positively, I think. I think just the good performances and the microscope on that would be bigger.
Yeah.
Because he played an unbelievable game against the Bombers.
Yeah, and that's become a pretty like mean average performance for him. Like the regularity he's putting that out there, it's increasing. I said to you earlier, he's 4th in the AFL.com.au Brownlow predictor.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I wouldn't have even thought that.
I mean, it's going to be hard for him to win an award like that with West Coast's win-loss ratio. But yeah, like it does say something. I mean, he's doing everything. And it's a point that you make a lot about trying to compare other players like in his draft year or whatever, there's always that conversation around, is Nick Watson, was he the guy that you should have taken? But he's playing in a really good Hawthorn side. He sort of had that time to develop, where Harley's doing everything. He's on the inside. He's winning the contested footy. He's winning clearances. And I think this year you'd have to say, like, off the back of maybe a quieter second season, his where are we at now? We're in his third season. So his second season was quieter, right?
Yep.
And now he's kind of come back and he's doing more of that outside stuff. The burst is back. There's that one last night. I think Zach Reed tried to tackle him. And
Yeah.
Was it Zach Reed that tried to?
It was Zach Reed. He just kept running.
He just kept going.
Yeah. It was a good contest.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's really exciting. Even as a neutral, that's exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. The top end talent for the Eagles is starting to shine through, which is really nice. And Ruben Jinby was probably our best on ground, and he's only 21 or 22. So, yeah, room for optimism.
I love it. People putting in the chat, Jinby got 10 coaches' votes. I got a confession to make, Jesse.
Yeah?
A little bit of a confession. We did our youth points ratings, and where did I want to put Jinby?
I think we both agreed +2, but
I reckon you were going into bat for him more than me, though.
I don't think I did. I reckon you'll find if you watch it back.
Really?
But I'll clarify why.
Okay.
At the start of the season, I didn't think of him as a true key back. So I thought, is he just like a intercepting,
He's a medium.
medium-sized defender? So we discriminate a little bit on role. That was also the first video of that entire series.
It
so
was.
we didn't have consistency, and some say we still don't. But we didn't have like a framework to draw back on. Whereas now in hindsight, I'm like, that's madness. But at the time, I was like, we'll discriminate on position.
Yeah.
But he's now like an outside All-Australian smoky for a key back. So I think he's...
I think probably where I'm going with this is more on the points that I made around it. Like I discriminated against him because I kind of see him, or maybe I saw him coming into the season. Like I know he's done some good roles down back in the past, but I'm like, he was drafted as a top line midfielder. I'd made West Coast kind of, when you do like sort of, list analysis or whatever, and you go like, oh, these are the players in this position. And I'd had Jinby in the past as a midfielder, as even, like he could have been a utility, but he was kind of drafted as a midfielder.
Yep.
And he's a failed midfielder to that degree because he's now gone back. And I used that against him. But every game that I've watched him play this season, he's shut someone really good down. Like he can play on a Jeremy Cameron and shut them down. He can play on a Nate Caddy last night. He's so athletic and he's giving you drive and he doesn't make many mistakes. And I think that is just... You can still be a high level. So he definitely deserved to go in that +3 category. So I think we got that one wrong.
Yeah. We're going to do a review show of every single review, talent video that we did. We're going to go back. We're going to consider feedback. We're going to have a conversation. We'll film it as a video and we'll give you our final rankings.
Absolutely.
I think Josh Lindsay might also be one higher than... But then,
what do we put Josh Lindsay?
He was +1 talented, but I think...
+1 for Josh Lindsay?
That was you driving that one. But... I think his performances.
Hey,
we'll get into that.
Don't put that. I'm sure we would have put him +2.
No, he's +1. Yeah, bit stiff. But you were big on Sam Allen, so it kind of evened up.
Sam Allen?
+2.
Okay. Again, I wonder how much that was no context at the time.
Yeah, we didn't exactly right. So we'll go through every team and improve on that where we've clearly made some mistakes.
Yeah, interesting. Biggest story of the round for you?
Biggest story of the round. Well,
probably should have given you some heads up on that.
No, that's okay. I do have my notes open. I separated into winners and losers, and I had 5 losers and 3 winners.
Oh, okay.
So let's take your pick. What was the biggest story of the round? I think in terms of the media reaction, it was Carlton winning.
Yep.
And that is enormous. But in the context of the season, well... It feels funny to say this, but the Demons losing was a pretty big story. The only difference there is probably just the way they got battered against a team outside the 10, and they were in the 10, or they were 6 and still.
Do you think they were slightly protected though by the fact that the Giants absolutely dismantled the Lions last week?
Right. Okay, biggest story then it was Carlton upsetting Geelong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you maybe throw in a Brisbane losing again?
I think the same logic applies to what you just said, is that had they not been obliterated the week before, it would have caused more of a ripple.
Sure.
Whereas I'm not sure we even learned that much about Freo in that game.
See,
not taking anything away from them, but we knew they were good before, and they didn't surprise us with the way they played.
I think we need to jump into this game, right now,
Yep.
Jesse. I think we need to jump into it.
Oh, actually, I do want to do some housekeeping.
He wants to do some housekeeping.
We just better not forget.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I'm
I've
sorry.
even got the graphic up.
I'm so sorry. Well, I want to shout out bets.com.au, who provide game previews and predictions that are statistically and analytically driven, completely free, and also let you know which Aussie bookmakers are providing the best odds on the selected markets. I also want to shout out Maximum Mastery and Arrogant Frogs. They're dominating all our game day squad competitions.
Yep.
They're both first in a variety of different leagues we have. And I'm 21st in our starter league, and you've slipped 30th, Dylan. We've got about 200 in that league, I reckon. So we're going okay.
I may have been not keeping up with my team as
The bye rounds hurt if you forget.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
me.
You need to get back into that, my friend.
That is absolutely me. But we digress onto this Fremantle and Brisbane. I think this was probably the most anticipated game of the round. I think arguably the season, this game, because I just had this expectation that Brisbane Lions were going to, welcome Fremantle to the town. And as they do, when they absolutely needed to win a game, that they were just going to get it done. I just trusted them to get this game done. And Fremantle were way too good. I watched this one. I was doing a little bit of prep and stuff like that in between. But every time I looked up, chopping carrots, every time I looked up at the screen on our BenQ projector, which I was watching it on, absolutely massive screen back there, by the way. They just dismantled them. Their best players, it was that third quarter where they really broke their back. Those best players got it done. Murphy Reid, Shea Bolton. I think Luke Jackson has become a man, like a proper man now. And I'm scared of Fremantle.
Yeah, that beard's rounding out his finishing puberty. That was a bad joke. He said he was becoming a man. I'm just going to get straight through it. Yeah, look, no Sarong, no Young, no problems. It's the first dot point I had written down.
Yes.
Look, going into the game, I had all the same thought process that you just outlined there. It was like, surely there'll be a response. But when it actually came down to doing my tipping, I was like, I cannot possibly back Brisbane here.
Really?
Based on exposed form, I just don't have real belief. I tipped Fremantle to win. So it went...
That was a nice little flex to get in.
Yeah, considering how bad my tipping is, I'll drop the occasional good tip. But I just thought, like, if there were... My feeling was that the only way Fremantle were going to lose that game is if they had a bad day. And they didn't. And they continually seem to stave off these bad days.
That's the thing, isn't it, this season? You go back to last year, I think their back end of the year was really good and they were able to put this sort of form together for a period. But their beginning of the season was terrible. They still had shifty form last year. That's just not there at the moment. They keep themselves in every single game, so they're always a chance. And perhaps this is something that hasn't happened under Justin Longmuir in previous seasons, but his most talented players can express themselves a little bit more. You see those guys get on the ball, the Boltons, the Jacksons, the Murphy Reids, even some of those other small forwards. I think Dudley's having a pretty underrated season. And what Tracy just... Their forward line, those three key position forwards, are just so competitive.
They're probably the best trio of key forwards in the comp right now.
Yeah. And where did they all come from when you think about it, those guys?
Talking about literally how they were recruited?
Yeah.
So Tracy was a rookie. Pat Voss was a DFA. Jai Amos was a
He's the only
pick eight.
top pick.
He is fifth in the Coleman right now.
He's fifth in the Coleman right now, but the two, particularly Tracy, as just that, you can sort of see how he wouldn't have been recruited as a really high pick.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't look as talented, and his movement and stuff like that isn't as good as, someone like an Aaron Cadman or a Jeremy Cameron type player. But he's just so competitive at bringing those other players into the ground. And what they're getting out of those guys, all three of them really. I think Amos is kind of like the finisher in a way. Like he's sort of that. He is a bit more talented, I suppose.
In terms of forward craft.
Full craft,
he's got
yes.
That, yeah. He's not as obviously as well-rounded as Josh Tracy, but they complement each other really well.
Josh Tracy's terrifying.
Yeah, he's not someone you want to be in front of when he's careering at a football.
Yeah, if you think about that from a defensive point of view as an opposition team, like if you're the guy, you're playing Freo and your job is to stand in the hole and block some of those leading lanes. Tracy's behind me. You can hear him breathing. Yeah. The footsteps. I'm terrified.
Yeah, the gentle panting.
Yeah,
no, agreed. They're a very complete team, Fremantle. There's not a lot of deficiencies. It almost feels like with the talent they have, they could be playing even better. And what I mean by is if you did if you were hypothetically making an AFL game, Dylan, and you did FIFA ratings for every player out of 100.
But why would you do that?
No one's going to do that. You'd have Fremantle's very close to the top, but and by extension, you'd think they'd dominate a little bit more. But as we've been saying all year, they sort of dominate when they need to.
Oh, okay. You're talking about like because I mean, it's hard to say they're not dominating because they're 11-1.
Yeah, I just meant compare what Sydney does to the bottom teams and what Fremantle does, or Sydney just generally in their scoring power.
Well, that's the only thing. And we just did we recorded some ladder predictors earlier today that are going to come out this week, and that's probably the only, I suppose, flag on them. And it's not necessarily a flag, but
that's the only flag on them.
I feel like the Sydney Swans, they have such a high octane offense that they can kind of go into cruise control into a lot of these games where you don't feel like Freo can really put teams to the sword as much.
No.
And I think that may be fatiguing across an entire season.
Yeah.
But I do think that the games that they've had to play, the conditioning that this gives them sets them up perhaps even better when we come to finals. As long as they're not like mentally drained by winning a bunch of close games and they can handle it, I think they'll be that. There's parallels for me of like Collingwood 2023 with the close victories. Yeah, being in every game.
Fair enough too. I keep saying that they're due for a bad game, and then I keep tipping them, and I'm also getting those right because they keep staving off those bad days. They do have a bit of a banana skin, potentially. I think honestly,
GWS?
No, they have you guys.
Oh, big banana skin.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
Don't brag. I think every game from here is a banana skin game for Freo, just because they're...
there's only one way to go.
Well, more just that they haven't really had a bad day in so long that any game could be the one. That's how I feel. Well, it's true of Sydney too.
It is.
Like when you're like 12-1 or whatever they are, 11-1. I just mean that whether their first loss could be North at Bunbury or it could be the Swans.
But what would that even do at this point? I feel like the ultimate judgment day for both of those teams now is finals.
I totally agree. Yeah.
Which can be a danger because complacency can come in then because you have your eye on it, right?
Yeah.
They know that they have to get themselves right for those games. I suppose like we could look back to some like other seasons where the teams that are at the top of the ladder at this point in the season don't always go on with it, right?
Yeah.
Like you'd rather be playing that better second half football. Think back to like a Collingwood even from last year. They would have been on top at this point.
Yeah, they were.
They looked unbeatable at the time. They just looked like they had every part of their game in order. And then they go on that little bit of a run where they struggled to find form and they kind of couldn't recover it.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. That could happen to either one of these teams. We don't know. But I think at the moment, as much as Fremantle's playing well, there's an absence of real contenders, I think.
That's what I was going to say. Because I think Brisbane have been the ultimate danger team in the other seasons.
Yeah.
The last two seasons anyway. I think it's Geelong, it's Hawthorn, it's Freo and it's Sydney.
Yeah, that's it. There's no ladder there. I keep looking there for no reason.
I keep dropping it. And it got to the point where I just couldn't be bothered putting it up again.
They're all splayed in different directions over there. I mean, some of those teams we considered maybe outside chances at the start of the year, like the Gold Coast Suns. Brisbane were more than an outside chance. It's starting to fall back to the rest of the pack a little bit. But again, it could look different. I remember 2023 where Carlton and GWS were both bottom 4 or 5 at round 15. Yeah. And they both made a prelim. So, but on exposed form, Fremantle are the real deal, I reckon.
What do you think Fremantle will do with the ruck situation? Is Sean Darcy, is he just done? Or do you think they're going to try and flirt with this? And obviously their ideal structure coming into the season and how they've kind of built this team is around having Darcy and Jackson in the team. What do you think they'll do?
What they should do and what they will do might be different answers in this case. I definitely think they're better with Jackson as the number one rock.
Sol Jackson?
Yeah. Well, I suppose
Mason.
Mason Cox in support probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I think he's a little bit more versatile than a Sean Darcy. And but whether Fremantle actually drop Sean Darcy, I don't think they've done that yet, have they?
Dropped him.
They haven't. When he's fit,
they play him.
Preferred against him. Yeah. So I'm not sure what they'll do, but I think Jackson is the number one.
You know, though, like in other situations where that's happened with Sean Darcy in other seasons, for example, Freo haven't been this good. So there's always that like we're trying to, we're tweaking, we're trying to get better. So that might be that we bring in Sam Darcy and it helps our stoppage profile or whatever.
Yeah.
They're now on top of the ladder. So you can't argue that they need to tweak.
Yeah, that's true.
So they got more to lose.
There's more stakes, higher stakes, absolutely. Yeah, no, I think they should probably. I wouldn't be surprised if Sean Darcy's at another club next year. I know I did run with that last year's trade period. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Got given some bad info, but I'm saying fully opinion now. I think there's a good chance. I think
You basically just like disregarded yourself as a journo there. You're like, my sources are bad.
I got told from someone who would know.
Really?
Well, I later found out that they weren't being that serious. So those are things you learn.
Right.
I've told you this story, but you obviously don't remember it.
No.
It doesn't matter. Anyway, Sean Darcy, I have no inside info here, but I just think it makes sense for Sean Darcy to seek a new club next year.
I think so.
Unless, alternatively, Fremantle give him every game for the rest of the year. Why would he leave, right?
What do you think his, not so much his worth, but would another club, do you think another club would actually take him? I think there would be teams like, the sort of teams that need a ruckman,
Richmond.
like they need a body, that is exactly who I was thinking about, that need him, they potentially would. But would anyone take him as like, oh yeah, we're getting like a big signing? Because I think 3-4 years ago, you'd say that he was one of the better rucks in the competition. Yeah. It's a bit of a different situation now. It is,
especially if hypothetically he doesn't get back into the Freo side, that hurts his trade value, right? But I mean, the Cats, they have Mitch Edwards coming through. Would they prefer a more mature body? Obviously, with Reece Stanley, 45 years old. GWS, I think Nick Madden's been targeted by Richmond.
Yep.
And he's no guarantee to stay. Sean Darcy's an upgrade on Kieran Briggs. I think there's a market there. Absolutely.
Mm.
But I get your point that he's not necessarily going to be suited to being like the number one ruck at a contender.
How old is he now? 26, 27?
He was 26.
Freo give massive Brisbane 2023 vibes this year. No flag guarantee, but a grand final appearance should be the expectation with a top 2 finish.
We just had a sideline chat there.
I presume that came through. Like everyone else said that?
It should have, yeah.
Yeah.
So that I actually missed the team at the start of that.
Freo give massive Brisbane 2023 vibes. No flag guarantee, but a grand final appearance should be their expectation.
Yeah, okay. I think that's a pretty good shout.
Yeah.
I definitely should be their expectation. If you're in this situation at the midway point of the season, you're gunning for the flag.
Absolutely.
You'd be stupid to talk that down, to be honest. I suppose the examples of teams like Adelaide Crows last year, who ended up finishing on top of the ladder, but kind of weren't, I suppose, like when the finals came around, they weren't really ready. To me, this Fremantle team feels more balanced, but you never know what they're gonna dish up in a final series, and they might just come up against a really good team on a day and lose, and that's kind of what happened to Brisbane in 23. So it's a good shout.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
Brisbane.
Just gonna post this on Instagram. Keep talking.
Yeah, go for it.
So
Brisbane.
I never share the stream.
Are they? My question to you, Jesse, is: are they dead in the water? They are. I think you had a stat here that it's the 4th time in a row that they've been smacked in quarter 3.
Yeah. Obviously the 86-3 quarter against the Giants was one of those quarters. But it was 21-40, I think, in this term. I thought Fagan made some interesting comments. He admits the group may be tired. And he's referenced the premierships. He said, is it that they're tired after winning 2 premierships? I'm not sure, which sounded like
he's surely talking to them, though. Are you tired?
Yeah.
Are you fucking tired?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's a talking to the players type situation.
Yeah, okay.
I think there are, like, if you dig into it a little bit here, like there are some circumstances that I think aren't being discussed as much as they should be. Like, it's totally being played off as this premiership fatigue type situation. But look, like, if you look at some of their players, like particularly in the defence at the moment that are missing, you've got Zorko out of the team, who is their major ball mover off the back half of the ground. Lester's a really important player structurally out of that team. And then Lincoln McCarthy's gone down. Oh, sorry, not Lincoln McCarthy. Kitty Coleman.
Yes.
He was injured in this game as well. And they lost Starcevic and Archie, who have played defensive roles for them in the past. Particularly Starcevic, I think, is really important structurally. So when you get Starcevic out, you get Lester out. The defence is considerably more vulnerable as well. So I think we're talking about, there probably is that premiership fatigue element to it a little bit. Like when you're the hunted, everyone's coming after you, they're copying you, they're dissecting your game plan. Everyone's trying to play the way that you're playing. which means the game plan becomes more predictable just competition wide, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're also just losing those little pieces that made you defensively accountable. Like Starcevic was that player.
Yeah.
And he's no longer there. So it feels like they're in this position where they're probably lacking a little bit of hunger, but they're also just not quite balanced. They've got too many forward-thinking players that are also young. Like I think Will Ashcroft's probably in that state of play, Levi Ashcroft, where like they want to be the best players and they want to hunt the football, but they don't necessarily, they're not thinking about the team as much as they should be at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I know they're dealing with injuries, but so is every other club, right? But to some extent, do you think the game's push towards transition footy might be also hurting them? We know they're a dominant clearance team, and I know they're not like a terrible transition team, but that's another thing that switched this year. And I think their ability to defend in general and their midfield pressure have both been talking points this year. Do you think that could be a factor?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if transition football is necessary. Like it's just changed a little bit the method. I think like the really high forward handball teams, like we saw what the Giants did to them.
Yeah.
With forward handball, like absolutely sliced through them. So it feels particularly defensive. I don't have the numbers in front of me for what Brisbane are doing offensively, but I don't think like their method is quite sustainable in the sense that it's a major forward half game. Like they kind of move the ball from the back half themselves methodically, but they do it via kicking, and they definitely haven't changed anything that they've done. So they haven't gone to a more of a handball game. And I think maybe they're becoming a little bit too predictable with their own ball movement when they try to get the ball inside 50. Because when you do like that slow, methodical ball movement, kick mark, and then you launch inside forward 50, they do that so that they can defend high then. So then when the ball comes out, they can win it back really high and then they can go inside forward 50 again. But like a lot of congestion.
Yes.
So you need all of your A-grade players. They need the Cam Rayners firing. They need the Zach Baileys firing. And then their mids have to be really good to actually get the ball forward and lock it in. McCluggage is really down on form at the moment. Cam Rayner, what do you have, 7 touches in this game? So it's a combination of everything. It's got to be a nuanced answer, doesn't it? It's personnel, it's probably a little bit of hunger, and it's form to their top line players.
Yeah, absolutely. As Rogie says, McCluggage and Dunkley had 13 and 16 disposals respectively.
It's crazy.
They're not getting a lot just over a period of time from those guys. I think the ball use, I think the effort was actually there in this game. The ball use, the sloppiness, that was very rare air for Brisbane in this game.
Yeah.
New Heaven says Logan Morris kicked poorly. I know Allen's injured at the moment, but they're also not getting a lot out of their prize recruits, to be honest.
Yeah, that's true. That's probably something that we don't talk about enough as well.
Yeah. I mean, there are bigger problems, I would say, than that, but it doesn't help.
How would you feel if you went to a team that had just won 2 flags and you arrive at the club and then just everything just goes to shit?
That's a good question. Let us know in the chat. What are some players that's happened to?
It's definitely happened. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head, but...
Tim Kelly. Not 2 flags, but Tim Kelly's probably... he's obviously overseen the worst of the Eagles. Taranto and Hopper.
Oh, yeah.
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 Let us know in the chat.
They came... The only thing with them, like, they sort of came after the... Like, they definitely would have been thinking we're going to be contending, but they didn't come in the middle of a dynasty.
No, that's true. I think... Well, I reckon it was the end of 22, so 2 years after.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, there'd been some finality to that. Like, if they were going to do well again, Richmond, it was going to be we're bouncing again.
Yeah, that's
type of thing. Whereas, like, I feel like those guys have come right smack bang in the middle of like, we should be winning this premiership.
Yeah, life's going to be so easy here.
Life is going to be so easy. Anything more on Brisbane? They come up against the Gold Coast Suns, which is... I know the Gold Coast Suns aren't in the greatest form at the moment, but not an easy game to get when you're in this sort of form.
I feel like the home side usually wins those cute clashes. I could be wrong.
Okay. I
think it's Gold Coast home game?
Yeah, it's at People First, yeah.
It's a tough game then. I'm thinking Gold Coast at this early juncture.
Yeah. It's another game that I have this trust in Brisbane, but I had the exact same feeling against... Freo, they need to pull a rabbit out of the hat, and they pull it out of the hat. And I'm sort of compelled to go Brisbane, but I don't think I can. I just think I think this might be what they are.
Yeah. We have Profound saying Schultz to the filth. So I guess the Collingwood's recruits of Perryman, Houston, and Schultz might have come at a wrong time as well.
Yeah, okay, they would have come straight after 23.
Yeah. A little bit different to Brisbane winning too. But
It's a good shout. That is a good shout. If you go to a premiership winning team, and you're always any premiership team goes into the next season assuming that they can. We don't really ever have a team that wins a premiership and we're like, oh, they can't win it.
No.
Like you're meant to be contending
Yeah.
if you've just won a premiership. It doesn't always work out like that.
Of course, yeah.
That's an interesting one. Should we go into the next game, Jesse? I have
Hit me.
Hawthorn and St Kilda.
A blockbuster.
Hawthorn and St Kilda. I've just got to do this right. Did that work? I hope it worked. I'm going to trust that worked. Hawthorn and St Kilda. So the Hawks 18-11, 119 defeated St Kilda 9-13, 67. This was, I think, St Kilda's first prime time game for the season. And they didn't score in the first half. It's a tragedy.
Yeah.
Small Melbourne team. They finally get the slot that they are desperate for. They're always saying that the AFL are against them. They finally get it. And they put up this.
Yeah. They got split up through handball, amongst other things. Gunston kicked a bag. As I said to you before, 80 goals in 21 games.
Gunny.
Yeah, Gunny. He's been an absolutely sensational. And, Flanders being out for the season now with an Achilles is a really bitter night. Some good signs from someone like Ataru, but...
The immediate media backlash of this game was that I think Kane Corns, I think it was the fireball. This was the Thursday night game.
Yeah.
So they do that Friday episode, and Kane Corn said, I actually like how he did it. He was like, people have been saying, it's too early to say, but he's like, now we can say that those recruits were a failure. We can say that for a fact now, that those recruits didn't work.
Wow.
De Koning, Flanders, and Silvani. Is that true?
I think it's too early. I think 6 months is not a lot, to be honest.
No.
I'm not saying he won't be right, but
won't be wrong.
I think we, you and I both said that this was never going to be a assess from round one of their first season kind of operation.
What do we tip them? 12th or 13th, probably? I didn't have them in the 10.
I can't remember if I did, but ballpark, same area, I think.
Yeah.
I think missing out on finals. So this is probably about what I expected over the course of the season. That being said, if you look at them individually, TDK hasn't. The form has clearly been a drop off from last year.
How good Flanders? It's a bad time to pot him because he's just done an Achilles. But how bad is that trade looking now for pick 7? I remember us talking about this last year on the stream and saying that if I was St Kilda, I don't mind the move because I think their midfield needs experienced bodies, not guys that are completely over the hill. They probably need this accumulator type because they've gone after the Philippou type of player. They've got Darcy Wilson types of player. There's even Toby Travaglia, who we don't know what he's going to be yet, but he could go into the midfield. So they've taken those more athletic types with higher upside. So they probably needed an accumulator like a Flanders.
Yeah.
But having said all of that, I just don't know if he's it. Is he even like a top line accumulator type player? He's not a sort of Will Ashcroft.
No.
In and under, he can win clearances, but does he have the composure and the hands and the technical skills of the top guys like that? I don't know if he does.
No, I think time will reveal that pick 7 was probably a bit generous. I do understand the context, and we talked about it at the time. St Kilda probably done with the draft to some extent with respect to their list build, so they were more willing than other clubs to pay.
Yeah, it had less value.
Yeah, to them. Albeit in hindsight, who would that have been?
The cum dog.
You reckon?
Yeah, it was. That was pick 7.
But that's with the bids pushed down. Would it not have been someone later, like Xavier Taylor?
With the bids pushed down, but it was. Oh, I see. Yeah.
So he went pick 8 on the night.
Yeah, true. You're right.
Yeah. So we're probably more looking like Xavier Taylor.
Sorry. You're right.
Latrell Pickett ran around there. It may have been Oscar Taylor.
Don't think it would have been. It wouldn't have been that late.
No, but they might have picked Oscar Taylor.
Sure.
And they might not have picked Latrell Pickett, for instance. Or they could have. I don't know. But those groups of players. Yeah.
Yep.
So the trade's not looking good from that point of view. Time will tell, but I think I'm not super confident it's going to pay off. Put it that way.
No. The best of the bad bunch there at the moment is Silvani.
Yeah.
Which was probably the pick that was kind of more of he's a nice structural piece.
Yeah.
But the big dogs were TDK and Flanders. Now, I'm probably more optimistic that TDK can become the player that they thought he was going to be. This sort of generational ruckman. I like him as a player. I think he can be that player, but I don't know. I'm a bit worried about them. And then you add in, I think like Philippu's had some moments, but I still think he's not fully formed as a player. And if they lose Darcy Wilson in all of this, it's a fucking disaster.
That's true. That would be really bitter. That being said,
Stop trying to look for the silver lining.
No, we're taking this opportunity to slaughter St Kilda. We are.
You didn't see it going like this, did you?
But
they didn't score at halftime.
They're in a form slump. There's no doubt about that. It was a particularly bad game.
Are they in a rut?
They're in a rut. Yeah. What? No. Yeah, they are. And what did Elliot Yeo say? That's a very extensive comment. It doesn't mean anything. Anyway, they're in a particularly bad run of form right now.
Yeah.
They haven't looked good, Darwin game inclusive, but post-Darwin from memory. Who did they lose to last week?
Doesn't matter, does it?
It kind of does from my point. No, I feel like they were one of the teams that were poor after Darwin. Forgive me, it doesn't matter. Either way, I think this
was after Darwin.
Against Gold Coast? That wasn't last week, was it? The chat will be able to come in.
Jesus Christ, my brain.
I could easily just look this up, Dylan.
Yeah, but let's keep this going.
No, let's keep this going.
This is fun.
Better content.
Yeah.
St Kilda. Oh, they lost to Freo. You know what? They played pretty well against Freo and they fell away in the last quarter. So it's almost as though that malaise a little bit maybe going into this round. All I'm saying is maybe we chill on the blasting them. I think the points on the individuals made are fair.
Yep.
In terms of the trajectory of the team, maybe we're overreacting a little. They are missing so many players. And their most important players, like you do also include a Max King in that, and he hasn't played for ages, but he's there and he's not playing. Not to mention Naz.
You just wonder sometimes, and I honestly don't blame them for this. Like I have a lot of respect for St Kilda. They are a smaller market club. It's a little bit more difficult for them. You kind of wonder with these teams, sometimes they get a little bit desperate. Like I've sort of seen North Melbourne do this in a way too, where like you can't bring in the players that you want, so then you try to manufacture something, and they obviously were able to get these players done, but now it's like, and we thought, well, it's good on them for trying it, and it's good content and all that sort of stuff.
It's good content.
It kind of is, like, you know what I mean? Like they're making things happening, like they're making, but it's not.
Not paying the bills.
It's not paying the bills. It is not paying the bills at the moment, and at what cost, Jesse?
Liam Ryan has been.
He's been a great pickup.
He has. He's also out.
But I reckon that's so Ryan and Silvani are probably the pick.
Yeah,
and they were maybe just bit part players to the whole thing.
Yeah, I still don't know why we traded him to St Kilda.
It's a weird one, isn't it?
Nothing out of that.
You guys would probably have 5 wins if you had Liam Ryan.
Maybe. Who knows? In any case, where were we? Oh, Hawthorn looked improved. Obviously, their form has been fluctuant lately. It is nice to see. It's
flatulent.
Yeah, been very gassy. But it's nice to see Will Day at least get through a game.
I love Will Day.
Yeah.
He's one of my favourite players in the competition. And I know people always get stuck into me because I rate him amongst... Like, I think when Will Day is fit and firing and playing his best football, he's at least a top 10 mid in the competition. And even in this game, like he comes back, he's clearly not fully fit, but just like the impact that he can have. And I reckon if I'm a Hawthorn player who thought maybe like would be reading into some of the media hype that like, is your midfield good enough, those types of things, with Will Day walking back into the team, I reckon that just makes everyone go, maybe we can win this thing.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Acknowledge it.
I thought I got away with that one.
Acknowledge it.
My voice broke. That's true. James Sicily is also returning to form. I had 146 game day score points. I think that's a big plus.
How many disposals did he have in this game? How many intercepts?
Oh, I didn't write that down, Dylan.
We need more alignment.
How many score involvements? I'm not sure. But overall, a nice little tune up for the Hawks.
He had a really poor year last year, James Sicily. So it is good. Do you think that his kind of recent form being a little bit more down, I think he's been really good in 2026, but the recent poor form, is it James Sicily playing poorly, or is it the fact that they brought in BRIS and Battle and his role had to significantly change?
Probably that is my opinion.
Keep going.
Yeah, I think certainly Certainly very likely. Like, he was the number one banana, as it were, back there. You bring in like two big pillars, that's obviously going to impact the player.
Yeah.
And they moved him around the field. So I'm not sure exactly what's changed recently in terms of the mechanics and why he's playing better. But I do think had that disruption not happened, he wouldn't have dropped off.
On a similar note, Blake Hardwick played full forward for a time in this game, and did he kick like 4 goals?
He was 4
in the last quarter.
Is that the second time he's done that this year?
Oh, he's such a good swing man. He's another player that I absolutely love.
33 disposals, 13 intercepts, says fellow.
13 intercepts, yeah, incredible. On this Hardwick thing, like, this is what I'm talking about with Jack Gunston. I remember I brought up a point a while ago, and people said, like, it needs to be studied what Jack Gunston did from being at Brisbane versus being at Hawthorn and the form that he was able to output. Because basically when he was at Brisbane, people thought he was absolutely done. But it's the game style.
Yeah,
playing that position for Hawthorn, the ball moves so easily. Like, they make the field enormous. They bring it out, and he's just got all this space to operate in.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right on that. I also think he was dealing with stuff when he was at Brisbane.
I think,
which is a factor. But I think in terms of the game style alone, I think you make a good point.
I don't think he just got shit. Like, he didn't become a shit footballer at Brisbane.
Nah. I think you're right. The way they open him up. I knew that was coming. I would have done that to you too.
You've corrupted.
I have ruined you. You used to make good content. I think they do make space for him really well. Yeah,
100%. As we move on, and this next game that I'm going to bring up here.
Tom says he did it 2 weeks in a row, so it must have been only last week that Blake Hardwick did that. It feels like longer ago.
It does feel like longer ago, but he has been that swingman. He's been able to push forward, go into defence.
Swing man. It's not a surname.
Is that true?
It's Swingman.
Is that correct?
No, I'm just being a dickhead.
Harry Swingman.
Yeah.
The next game we have is Carlton and Geelong, and inexplicably the Blues 12-16-88 to 12-12-84. Did you see this one coming, Jesse? You've been a big defendant of Michael Voss and his tactical alignment. As the Blues put it.
Yeah. Did I say coming? Obviously not. But the Blues love playing Geelong.
Did you say coming?
Yes, Dylan, I did. Why? What's funny about that?
I'm losing it today. Continue. I'll let you go.
I did see it. No, sorry, I didn't see it coming. But the Blues have won 3 of their last 4 against the Cats. They also beat them in the G last year.
Yeah, they got the wood over them.
But still a bit of a surprise, obviously. Anytime Geelong loses, it usually takes a good performance from the opposition.
It does. They're a hard side to beat.
Absolutely. So, a stunning victory, huge for the morale of the footy club. Paddy Cripps, dunking on the haters, as Gen Z say.
Yeah.
Jagger Smith has also been a talking point. I actually thought Billy Wilson might be a chance for the Rising Star nom. I believe Harry Dean.
Harry Dean, I would say... I thought it was a little bit of a surprise that he went pick 3 in the draft. Like to see the bid come in that early. Just kind of thought, he's this kind of pretty dour key position defender. He's not like when you talk about, I suppose, like the other players that go in that range of the draft, typically it's those like, elusive midfielders, very highly skilled players that have a lot of athleticism. He's not like, it's not that he's unathletic or anything like that, but he doesn't probably have that in spades. It's more about what he does from a mental point of view, his contest stuff, and he's just such a dour defender. He's brilliant. I love this guy. He already acts like he's a 26-year-old that's played 150 games. He'll go up to a Tom Lynch and just give it to him. I absolutely love that about him. And I think he's going to be a big piece in why this Carlton team gets better, not just at the back end of this year, but I think going forward, like super, super important. And he's underrated because he's a key position defender. We talk about Jagger Smith and we've probably even talked about like a Jack Ison more than we've talked about Harry Dean. He's been incredible.
True. Yeah, and it has been a solid body of work this whole season that sees him with the Rising Star nom. Absolutely. Do you remember where you rated him?
In the draft, I had him outside the 10.
Yeah, right. Wow. Yeah. I think even by like most other platforms and draft watchers, I think Harry Dean at 3 was a surprise.
It was. Yeah. So that wasn't completely out of character.
No.
I probably had him later than some though.
Yeah.
So I'll wear that one. I keep admitting I'm wrong today.
Oh God, we don't do that around here. Jagger Smith was also a big talking point, as I said, with a really strong performance, probably his best in a while since the early rounds, I would say.
Yeah.
Flynn Young, Taylor Byrne, Jason, as we call him, and Billy Wilson. So a good sprinkling of young talent there playing roles for Carlton, which is welcome.
Yeah, and the question begs now, what can they do with this? I suppose like extra energy that's been injected into them. I don't so much think it's a point of like Josh Fraser comes in and he's this messiah and he's getting the best out of all of these players. I think they probably just needed a bit of a shift and a bit of a change. Like there was always a good amount of talent on that list, and it was in a decent enough age profile that they could have done something this season. And I don't think. I sort of sensed last season that they were going to have a bit of a collapse, but I didn't think, like tipping them to finish 12th on the ladder, I didn't think they were that bad from a talent perspective.
This year?
Last year.
Yeah, I was going to say.
What did I say?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, last year, sorry.
Yeah.
Coming into this year, I thought they could like overperform what they did last year. I think the second half of the season we'll see what the real Carlton is.
And what is that, Dylan?
Top 4. Kidding.
This guy.
No, I don't think they'll make the top 10. I think they'll be in the conversation for it though, which is crazy to say after their first. What were they sitting after 10 games?
I think they were 1-8.
1-8.
I'm not sure. Would that make them? They've won 4 now, so they're 4-8.
Yeah. They've won their last 3.
Yeah,
they won one under Voss.
Yeah.
Which was that Richmond game that they should have lost.
I know, right? Mental. They also got they were in winning positions in so many other games.
Almost
as well.
every game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they never resembled a bottom 4 team in terms of the way they were playing. So
no.
It's just kind of correcting a little bit.
I think
they've
so.
also improved.
It's coming back, and I think like you get with the injection of those younger players. They sense it, and when they get a bit of a win now, and they're on a bit of a run, they'll take it and run with it. I feel
good leadership from Cripps and Walsh too.
Oh, great!
Yeah.
Like Cripps was unbelievable in this game, written off by pretty much everyone. Like even I didn't think he could play that well.
Yeah,
in an AFL game, like I kind of just thought he was. I didn't think he was done. Like I wasn't ready to retire him. And I remember when we did the Carlton list thing, I said like I think they've got to hang on to him, partly because you're not going to get much back for him.
Yeah.
If he leaves, and he's clearly a great leader.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, this performance only makes that more. Wiedering was really good in this game too.
Future North Melbourne Premiership
Future
player.
North Melbourne captain.
Yeah, the Blues are distantly the best contested ball side in the last 5, which is not shocking given the way we know they play, but still a nice stat. They also dominated ground balls in their forward 50 in this game, so their smalls got to work, which is something that they've been lacking.
They've lacked that, yeah.
So
I think that's still a big recruiting area for them going forward. I think you look at like their best young players are clearly Harry Dean, Jagger Smith.
Yeah,
they bring in Cody Walker, another midfielder. They got Taylor Byrne. Like obviously, I like him as a player. The jury's still out. I think he's just a good little hard-nosed small forward.
Yeah.
If they could bring in one really high-end small forward,
like a genuine goal threat,
like a sort of Nick Watson, Isaac Kako level sort of player coming through. Milano Murdoch, that type. Yeah, exactly.
No, I totally agree. I just want to throw this caveat against all the positivity though. Do you think like Carlton stinking it up in the first half of the year, storming back in the second half of the year, finishing 11th, is the most shit outcome and the most Carlton-esque outcome in a year where Cody Walker, they need the points to match him? Is there a downside to them suddenly?
Oh, okay. So you're basically they are a yo-yo team, aren't they? They're a bipolar team like that.
I'm sure their fans want to win games, and I'm not trying to dress up this stuff, particularly beating Geelong, as a negative, but they might look back on the end of the year, finishing 11th or 12th, thinking, well, now the draft is a bit of a headache for us for getting Cody Walker, and we didn't achieve anything. I see that is their future here.
I do think, though, that these patches of wins, like if they go on a winning streak here, I don't know the exact fixture, but I know in their next few games they've got like 3 bottom teams. They could be on a 6 or 7 game streak. The Giants is in there. I mentioned in our ladder predictors, they play the Giants in Sydney and then they don't leave Melbourne again for the rest of the season. So if they went on a mesmerising run and made the top 10 and just snuck in, like those young players will remember that. That'll be a club building moment for them that will make some of them like buy in a little bit more, I think.
Counterpoint, they did that 3 years ago.
With the young players?
And it didn't mean jack shit. No, I couldn't tell you who was young on their list that year. That was in the team.
You're talking
You're
about...
probably right about certain individuals being
Was that
in
when
the
they
team
lost the elimination to Brisbane?
Prelim.
Oh, the prelim one.
Yeah.
Oh no, you can't say that was jack shit.
I'm confused. Wait, I don't think, just so we're understanding correctly. No. They went on that massive run in the second half of the year, made it all the way to the prelim.
Yeah.
It didn't do anything for the following years.
Oh, okay.
That is my point.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But that doesn't mean you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. That doesn't mean going on a run isn't good.
No.
It means it's not always.
It just
good.
might be a nothing burger.
It could be a nothing.
next
It could be a
year.
nothing burger.
Yeah.
I
I know that's harsh, but
Yeah, it might be overly kind of rose tinted and optimistic, but I always feel like you're better off getting that winning mentality going
fair.
than
I'm sure their fans
the
agree.
positives far outweigh the negatives of like we're going for wins as opposed to we're just gonna like let's just think about Cody
Yeah.
and waste
Oh,
completely
yeah.
waste a season.
I'm not at all advising them to tank or anything like that or have changed their mindset at the moment. I'm just saying on the outcome of what is likely to happen this year, it won't be a great result. But
Yeah.
oh well.
There's a few people in the chat actually talking about what we just spoke about. Neocleus at Carlton. It's a good shout.
Yeah.
Will you get him though?
Oh no, you need to trade back in.
You need to trade back in because you've
unless he slides.
Yeah, exactly. Because all your points are going to go to Cody Walker. Tom Newen's given us super chat. Thank you very much, mate. He says, Jesse, how many games you think the Eagles... Okay, well, we'll go back to that. I'll come back to you,
sure,
Tom Newen.
Sure.
We'll stop at this company.
Thanks, Tom.
Bailey Humphrey would be perfect. Good shout.
He would be perfect. Very audacious target. There'd be other teams that would be ahead in the race, I would have thought.
I'm just going to be 2 seconds. Just go to the chat
Okay.
for a second.
Sure. I'll get to Tom Newen. Thank you so much, mate. He says, Jesse, how many games do you think the Eagles will win? I think we win 2 of our next 3. Not sure we can beat North. Interesting. So that means you think we beat Carlton? Because I actually think Carlton's the one I'd rule us out of winning. I would give us a chance in both North and Port. It seems unrealistic to predict we'd win both, but I'm hopeful we win 1. And then towards the back end of the year, it's hard to find our next win after North. Like our next winnable game after North. Oh, we have Richmond at the G. So 5 or 6 probably is what I'm thinking. Is everything okay, Dylan? Everything's fine.
Don't stress.
Yeah.
Don't worry, man.
Blair Dowker says, would you redo the ranking for Jagger now as a +4? I wouldn't personally. No way. But, I mean, there's still some very good players in that +3. I think what that suffers from is it needed another category because we didn't want to put certain players like a Jagger and other players as well around the comp in the top category because I don't think he's there. But also +3 probably groups him in with players that he should be ahead of.
What do you think his sort of ceiling is and what type of player do you think that he can be? Because I think sometimes there's a disconnect between what people think like a player is and how much we sometimes, particularly with a guy that's only just started in his career, we're looking a bit at archetype as well.
Yeah.
Of where they can go. And I think that's sometimes the non-alignment of what we're talking about and what the fans are like, what about Jagger? Like,
yeah. Particularly like considering current performance.
Yeah.
Like the ones we've been criticised for the most would be like Murphy and Jagger because they're performing extremely well right now. But projecting, let's put aside Murphy for a minute. I think there's a different scenario.
It's a
but
different,
like,
it's a different
I don't think Jagger's ceiling is that high.
No, I don't either.
So, but that's not to say he's not a very good player in the role that he plays. But
I also think a player like Jagger, like there's less that can go wrong actually.
Yeah, totally.
Like
he's a lock to be a good player. In my opinion.
Yeah.
But it's the same with. Oh, this is dangerous. I was going to say it's the same with Levi Ashcroft, but we've discounted Will a little bit, or at least I'll speak for myself. Talked down Will right before an amazing grand final.
Yeah.
So, not sure, but I would say not top echelon of talent, Jagger Smith.
Yeah, not the top of top.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds funny just because he is a top, he is a top level talent. But I straight away go to that draft with the players that he was behind. He was behind Finn O'Sullivan and Sam Lawler for a reason.
Yeah.
And that's because they can do more stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
That's essentially, he's a good ball winning midfielder. He has even this season, he's impressed me a lot with like some of the things that he's added. I think he's getting the ball on the outside a lot more.
Yes.
Than he was at junior level.
Yeah.
He was more of a contest guy then, but yeah, good player. I don't know. Is it going to be a great
Well,
player?
to clarify the top echelon, I agree is a top line talent. Obviously, it's all semantic, but
Yeah.
what I mean is like compared to say your Harley Reid, your Dersmers, your Lawlers, your Finn O'Sullivans, your Finn Callahans, those are the top echelon. Like that's superstar potential. I think Jagger's one back from that.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, the Blues, I can't say they'll be happy with this season, but I think all things considered, the only thing that they'll have regret about is that they didn't come into the season with the coach change, I think. They should have just made that call.
Yeah,
Just be done with it.
In hindsight, yes. At the time, I feel like it would have been a big call.
I still don't though. Like, why was it a big call? We sat here, we did a fucking tier list of the coaches, and we went, he's almost certainly fucked. So was that not enough to say that like we're sitting here from the bleachers? They were in there.
I think honestly, the part of the reason we put him in that category was because you
could have got away with that one.
Oh damn it! Is because we expected Carlton to do poorly, not because at the time it warranted a sacking.
But I tipped them to finish top 8.
This is also confusing.
On their, but I was basing that on their array of players, not on Michael Voss.
Okay.
Which is the two are, as I say that, intrinsically linked because he was coaching the team.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was a wild shout to say that Michael Voss kind of had to go. That had ran its race. I don't even think that's a hindsight call.
I don't think the noise was that strong at the time. I don't know. I'm challenging on things that I'm starting to forget, to be honest, in terms of what it was like in the preseason.
Almost certainly fucked.
Yeah, but I think that, again, it also comes down to us not expecting Carlton to do well. I'll speak for myself anyway.
Interesting. Blair Dowker says, I guess when you're saying Jagger could win a Brownlow, but also then not at the top is a bit contradictory, Jesse.
I don't think it's contradictory.
No, I don't either.
I think there's a lot of amazing players who don't win a Brownlow. Like some of Dusty's best seasons, except for the one he won, that was probably his best season. But how many years was he the best player in the comp?
Yeah.
And never won another Brownlow?
Well, I think Dacos has probably been the best player in the comp.
Dacos or Bond?
Dacos, Bond, Heaney right now.
Yeah.
If Heaney doesn't win the Brownlow this year, he's starting to have that of like consistent excellence and just not being rewarded for it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like is Matty Rao the best player in the competition?
No.
Is he in that top echelon of match winning midfielder?
I don't think he's ever been a top 5 player.
He's not top 10 player.
I think you can make the case he's close to the top 10. Not now.
Last year.
Yeah, on performance last year.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
But it's like, I don't know. What's a good analogy or a good picture to kind of show this? It's like he's kind of like his consistency of performance is like sort of like pushing at the door, but like he's not really ever going to get there.
Yeah, exactly.
Not really sure what I was doing there with my hands, but
I think it helped.
We will move on to the next game, Jesse. We have Sydney defeating Richmond 25-20, 170 to 8-8, 56. That is a 114-point burger.
Burger.
Damn it. I just put rest in peace, Richmond.
How bad a loss is this for Richmond, do you think, in terms of bedwetting? Should there be more bedwetting, Dylan?
Yeah, I suppose it's like, it's a fine line, isn't it? Like, were they ever going to, was the result of this game ever going to be anything other than about a 70 or 80 point loss? Probably not. You'd probably expect that. I know Richmond have actually been pretty good at keeping the margins good this season.
Yes.
Sydney can fuck you up though, particularly at the SCG.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they've done to Richmond
stadium,
here.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did Curnow kick?
8
goals for Charlie Curnow.
Yeah.
Like, that is just his forte.
They played with 4 key forwards and just like, the ball's not going to hit the ground. It's fine. And that paid off. Like Curnow kicked 8. Hayden McLean kicked 4. Then you had 3 between McDonald and Amati. That's going to lead to like a very interesting list management position at the end of the year with Hayden McLean playing 2s and then clearly good enough to be in the 1s. And I think both he and Amati are out of contract. I think McLean's a free agent. So one of them's going to go.
Do you reckon when a Richmond comes up against a Sydney like this and there's a player like a Hayden McLean and they're like, oh, okay, he's playing in this game, he's kind of on the outer at Sydney. Do you reckon they go up there and like hit him up?
Richmond specifically?
Well,
Or a team?
I reckon Richmond would be a team that would be after a key position forward like that, a ready-made guy that can come in. I know they've got a lot of young key position forwards, but they don't want to be in a situation where they're like Lynch has to be fit, and then they're playing like Fall and Armstrong, for example.
Yeah,
they've got Fawcett there as well, but like
and they've played a bit of Samson Ryan this year. I think they'd like to upgrade.
I think a McLean would be an upgrade on that. So I wonder if they go up there and
it's actually a good shout.
Book a hotel and do some whining and dining.
Yeah, and call Nick Madden as well, who they're also into.
Nick Madden,
not a bad shout.
Yeah, just interesting because you'd come into contact with him up there, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean you're in the same city.
Yeah,
yeah. In any case, this game is I don't think so. I've been feeling for a while, and I think I've said this on the show, but you can deal with a long injury list for a while. We've seen teams, my own club did it for a bit, Essendon, Richmond, a couple of times each, I think. You can be competitive for a while, but there will be a moment the damn wall breaks and you cannot compete because you just overrun. I wonder if Richmond are reaching that point. And I think we can kind of forgive it a little bit when they've got so little availability that I'm not too concerned by this performance. It's ugly and it's horrible to sit through, but they have some excuse, I think.
They definitely have an excuse. Yeah. And I that's what I was saying off the top. Like I think Sydney, it's like if this was a 70 or a 60 point win to Sydney, I think we're going, yeah.
Yeah.
Like we're not even really talking about it.
No, for sure.
Which is a bit of a damning thing on Richmond that like these teams down the bottom of the ladder that are bottoming them out, they get to that point where like a 60 point loss doesn't matter. The fact that it's 114, like it's just sort of marginally worse, isn't it? It's like it is worse.
Yeah.
But is there much to actually say about it? It's a group of young players who just got beaten up by a team that's got so much talent. Like they can't go with Isaac Heaney. What do you have? 30 disposals, 5 goals?
Something like that. He had 195 game day squad points, which is as high as I've seen, I reckon, this year. They had no response for him. Even Laddams came in instead of Grundy, and he scored 100.
Actually, Laddams is the number 1 rated player in the competition off that one game.
The average rating. That's
yeah.
crazy. Yeah, 118 game day squad points. Richmond are also coming off a win. That was only last week. They beat Essendon.
They are too.
So I think you can brush it under the rug a little bit to some extent. You obviously don't want to see.
I reckon there's almost a bit of a psychological element to that too with the young team. Totally. Where they win the game, they have a big high against Essendon, and then they kind of get lulled into a false sense of security, and they're playing Sydney.
Even just the emotional release, I think.
The emotional release.
Yeah.
100%.
Totally.
I don't know how damning. I mean, Richmond are probably embedded in this situation where they've had a lot of kind of over the last few seasons. Like they are kind of a terrible team now as far as on the field. So I'm not sure how much damage it does.
No, I don't think so.
It's 170 points though.
Yeah. Is that the highest score this year? Yeah, I think that eclipses.
What did the Giants score against Brisbane?
166.
Yeah, okay.
And I think Sydney against the Eagles had 168.
Do you know what I feel like we're seeing a bit this year? Like these big scores, like Sydney score a 170. I feel like in years gone by, like the Oppo score would be like 30. And the team that loses is actually like putting up a decent. I mean, 56 isn't that good. No. I reckon Essendon have had a few games like that though, where they've scored like they've lost to about 150 points. Like the opposition's kicked 150 points, and Essendon have kicked like 80.
Possibly. They've also had 2 losses, I reckon, where they scored over 100. Was it against Gold Coast and GWS?
Essendon.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
I mean, this is about Richmond and Sydney, so I shouldn't have really gone off on that tangent. But
no, we're talking about higher scores, aren't we?
We are talking about high scores. Yep. People saying that Curnow is a downhill skier, Jesse. Do you agree?
That's a tough one. I do want to shout out Shoe Snatch and Willie, who has just become a member on the YouTube channel as well. Who has a question? Let's get to. Are they down? But this is a tricky one because Heaney also torches the bottom sides, but he also torches
the top sides. Yeah.
Is it just a thing where you're offensively so potent that when you get a little bit of an advantage, you put teams to the sword? Is that a criticism?
No,
I know this question's about Curnow, not Heaney, but
I don't think the criticism comes for the performance against Richmond though, because that's fine. Like obviously
Sure.
Sydney are going to kick a massive score. You play as the main target key forward for the team, and you're playing on he played on Luke Traynor, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's just like way too big and strong
Yeah.
and dominates. So like there's nothing really against him, but I suppose
I think there is a narrative with Kerno, to be fair.
it has been. It goes
while.
back. I think he
Yeah.
had. I think it was his 2023 final series. I hate doing that when I go back to years.
Yeah, it was 23.
I think he only kicked 3 goals across that final series or something like that. Like he averaged for the season, he averaged like 3.5 to 4 goals a game, and then across that final series, kicked basically a goal a game.
Yeah,
that's kind of what he's dished out in. And finals, obviously big games. I don't know if that's consistent across like every single big game. Obviously, for like a key position forward, like a big part of your job, it's not only to kick goals. And Kerno just being there for Sydney and being a target and being a presence is going to open up space because he's going to attract defenders, and there is a structural element to it. But at the same time, I'd want the fallback if I was Sydney that I went after Kerno. I paid what I did for him. I'd want the fallback that like he can just win me a fucking game against a good team every now and then.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't just want the structural piece and like he's like we make up new stats for him. Like he's opening up space for other guys. Like look what he's doing for Papley and you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. I think that's all fair enough. We do have a Shoe Snatch and Wheeler who just became a member. Says, why does Uze get a pass for very poor coaching? I think I don't know if he's having. I don't think if he's coaching necessarily poorly. I know there's been criticisms on selection.
Yeah.
I think sometimes with rebuilding clubs, there's over criticism of selecting senior bodies. Let's just dealing with what he can.
Let's tap into the biggest one, I suppose, the cliche one, which is that he plays Taranto, Hopper, and Prestia in the midfield. Right? Is it the right thing to do? In your opinion?
Not to exclude all others, but we are also talking about a team that's young players are all injured.
Yeah.
So and it's not as though there is a Smiley dominating the VFL or a Sam Cumming who's been obviously battling his own injury issues. Taj Houghton's barely got on the park. These
Lawler's
guys
not even there.
That's true. Exactly. I think there's an Achilles, right? So
yep.
First of all, you got to have the kids there, and secondly, they've got to be blended into the side. Also, for so much of Uze's tenure so far, they've hardly had any players. So I think the fact that Uze kind of gets up, or Richmond get up in these kind of, what? Gross. I think these, I didn't get it at first. Uze gets up against the bottom sides. Fuck. Stop. We're being derailed. I'm struggling with my point.
You were doing really well.
I was.
You were doing really well. And
I think Richmond show enough spunk. It wasn't even on purpose. They do show enough spirit regularly enough for me to feel like he's doing something right. I certainly feel it every time Richmond plays West Coast. There is a difference in the energy that they bring. They're a bogey side for us now.
Yeah.
They just beat us every time. Against Essendon twice in a row now, they've beaten them.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that. I don't think I see, and I've complimented also West Coast on that this season. I think with what McQualter's doing, like Uze has the players and they want to play for him.
I think so too.
I think what happens in these situations is fans are looking at like the method and they're watching, fans watch all other teams as well. And they watch a team like Sydney and they're like, fuck, they're moving the ball well. Like, they've got they're so balanced across the field. They're working their small forwards. The Brody Grundy's tapping the ball to beautiful spaces. Like they're watching them do that against their team and they can't do it. But they don't have the ability to be able to do it.
Absolutely.
And you can't put all of that on Adam Uze. He needs to get Richmond from there to there. And what was that?
No, I think it's fine.
He needs to get Richmond from A to B.
Absolutely.
And he's responsible for everything at the club. So like the stuff with the high performance and all that, like he kind of has to get all of that right.
Yeah.
Along with the the football department people. I don't think you can a young rebuilding coach like Uze or McQualter or someone like that. I don't even think you can kind of judge their game plan at this point. Because they're just trying to fill holes. They're just trying to not get beaten by a lot. And they're trying to bring in like a simple method that these players can play to, so that they can develop in the first couple of years. It's too early to judge him,
Absolutely. I think so too.
and that's why it feels like he gets he doesn't have to take that criticism, but it's not ready for him yet.
Yeah, for sure. We got a little bit of discourse around the downhill skiing from Kerno chat.
Okay.
Bong Choi says, look at Ben King. His highest goal tallies this year were 7 against Richmond and 5 against the Eagles. Every other game is 4 twice or less. Where's the criticism of him?
4 twice or less. What's that?
He's kicked 4 twice, or he's kicked less than that in every other game.
Okay. I mean, it's hard for me exactly to...
Yeah, we need a more detailed analysis, I think.
Yeah, it's funny with Ben King. Like, I've kind of never been a massive fan of Ben King, because I do actually I feel like he's a forward where, like I make this about Nick Larkey sometimes as well, where they get on the scoreboard. They have a knack of getting on the scoreboard, but I sometimes wonder what they actually do around the goals. And Ben King's one of those ones. Like, I'd probably prefer a Kerno, because I think he brings other players into the game a little bit more than a Ben King. So maybe it's a bad example in general.
Yeah.
But I think that goes back to what we talked about off the top, where like a key position forward that's the main target in your team, like you will look like, if you bring up your stats and go, he kicks more goals against the weaker teams, like it's going to naturally happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
I reckon Ben King's kicked more goals than Kerno this year, though.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, I think they're both in the top 5 or 6 though.
Might actually.
I
Bring
think
that up in
Kerno
the
might even
background.
be like 6 or 4. Amos is 5, and I think King was 2nd behind Gunston.
Interesting. Who's the best key position forward in the competition then? Like, who's the one who's not a downhill skier? Because let's be honest, they all are.
To some extent, they are. I think Josh Tracy.
I agree.
I mean,
If you take out someone like maybe a Jeremy Cameron, who can probably do more.
Yeah, that's true. And I think Phil Thorpe has the ability to push that. He's not there yet.
Yeah. So Ben King has 3.1 goals per game. Charlie Kerno 2.8. Jeremy Cameron 3.1. Jack Gunston way out in front on 3.9. So yeah, Tracy doesn't quite have the goal output.
No.
But I would rather a Tracy for, again, it's that smash and packs, and he's a big reason why players like Dudley and Reed and Swikowski do so well. I'm taking...
Totally.
I think I'm taking that.
And he's floated back and taken multiple match-saving marks in the last 12 months.
True. That's those things that you don't even always think about, right?
Yeah. I might do my old El Bathroom. How many games we got left? We got Bulldogs. Have we got 3?
It's not many.
No. I mean, I don't know how much.
I don't even remember. We've kind of done West Coast Essendon, right? Are we going to do that again?
I don't think we need to do it again. We can probably revisit it. I've got some ideas. But we also have Stank and Bank coming.
What's Stanky?
Yeah. Speaking of Stank.
Stank
I'll be
L
right
Bank. Bonk Choi says Cameron kicked only 1 in their loss to the Hawks too. Interesting. I think we've got a little argument going on with who is the biggest downhill skier, which is very, very fun. I actually kind of want to go in and see, where can I do the game by game breakdown? I don't think I can do that here where I am. I'd like to do the game by game. Anyway, we'll get to that at some point. Tom Fairbanks says, can we appreciate how Nick Watson is 5th in the Coleman? Is that true? I'm actually going to check that out. Nick Watson, he is 2. He's kicked 30 goals, 2.5. That'd be clearly the best small forward in the comp for a goal output point of view. Amos is up there. Norton, Tracy, Georgiades. Charlie Cameron would be the next best. That's interesting. Paul Curtis, if you call him a small forward, 2 goals a game. That's it. I mean, Nick Watson's completely gone to another level. Pretty much every Hawthorn game you see, he's the most dangerous player and looks like he could just light a fire for them every time. I absolutely love him. What else we got here? Spinkscape says, remember when West Coast were almost the sole contributor to who won the Coleman, with players like Kerno, Cameron and Walker having big bags against us twice a season? I love how, as a West Coast fan, you actually like remember that. Like, that's like a big part of your football experience, thinking like these are where Colemans are won. It's so true though. I reckon I feel like there was 2 Colemans in a row in like somewhere between 23 and 25 where the last game of the season had it was Adelaide against West Coast, and sorry, Jesse just farted. Oh, this stream's absolutely rogue. My point about West Coast, there were 2 seasons in a row, I reckon, where the last game of the season, it was Walker up against the Eagles, Jeremy Cameron up against the Eagles. And it was if they kicked a bag, they would take over and win the Coleman. And ultimately they did because it's such a lock. So good shout there. Bong Troy says, it's just criticism for the sake of media sensationalism. So what are we talking about there? That would be on Kerno, I would say. It's just criticism for the sake of media sensationalism. I mean, yes, I get what you're trying to say there, but at the same time, I think when these big deals are made, when there's a lot of money involved, there's a lot of draft capital that Sydney had to pay up to Carlton for that pick, there is an expectation that a player you're allowed to have expectation on a player and criticise them for being down, right?
Yes.
Charlie Kerno, that is a privilege bestowed upon him as a elite footballer, that he has an expectation that he's going to kick goals against the big teams.
Yeah, I think the trade price does sort of indicate the expectation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. That being said, when you have a team like Sydney, it's more about just making sure he delivers when it's his turn.
Exactly.
So
8 goals against Richmond isn't necessarily that, but then there's also no reason to pot him for that.
No, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, if anybody was listening there and heard that fart, it was quite
I love
intense.
how you blamed it on me. That was crazy. I found a horn in the bathroom.
Oh, what?
A nice little horn, that little mini trumpet. Where were we?
Oh, you've lost the plot. Does Josh Tracy play with desperation mainly because of where he was drafted? That's a good question.
Does he play with desperation because of that?
But yeah, because he wasn't taken as a top pick. He was a...
No, I think it's innate. I think he's just a competitor.
Good question, though.
I only think that would fuel you so far.
Yeah.
Personally.
Once you're actually in the AFL,
Yeah.
I think let's go back a bit though. I think that would have fueled his preparation to get to where he is now. I don't think it's
Possibly, yeah.
necessary for still fueling him, but the days and months after getting drafted, I bet he was fighting harder than those top picks for it, or fighting harder than some.
You might be right.
And then that builds a pattern, right? So you're doing that every day subconsciously, and then that's probably the way that he still trains and operates now, even though he's not thinking he's not getting out of bed and going shit, I might get dropped tomorrow. But he's done the work.
We've got that scarcity mindset. I think McConkey said the same thing about Milan Murdoch this week. Just
because those two players are on the same level.
No, it's close, but no. But obviously, what correlates is the hunting like a dog kind of attitude.
Yeah.
And we're talking about another player, sort of, undrafted how many times in a row.
Yeah, exactly. And he plays like it.
Yeah,
Milan Murdoch does actually play like that.
Yeah,
which
so I was making a good point.
Yeah, you were. Blair Dowker says, would Blues be top 8 if they sacked the boss earlier?
You love this one.
I love it.
You love it.
As soon as I see that in the chat, I'm like...
I don't think so.
Okay. Just checking. Just. Bonk is a Sydney fan. We always forget who Bonk goes for.
No, I knew he was a Sydney fan.
No, we had this conversation the other night.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, but I mean, tonight I didn't forget.
Yeah, okay, I did.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to Western Bulldogs defeating... I've just got to get my graphics right. Bear with me here, guys.
The Collingwood Football Club.
The Collingwood Football Club. This was 14-13-97 to 13-15-93. It was a real mid-table battle, as they say.
The Dogs have won back-to-back 8-point clashes against teams also in that region of the ladder. So they've
had a lot of close wins, haven't they?
They have. Would you believe me at the start of the season, particularly after the first 4 rounds, if I'd have said the Bulldogs would rank 14th for percentage but be in the, 7th?
Good question.
I think they're 7th.
They're in that realm.
But rank 14th for percentage.
That's crazy. And they've had some big wins.
Yeah.
What did they beat Essendon by?
A lot.
A lot
I don't
of
remember
points.
specifically.
There were many points.
But they have had 5 wins by 6 points or less.
They are 7th. You're correct.
And they beat GWS by 88.
93.7. I didn't
something
pick
like
up
that.
on this.
They smashed GWS too. They've had some big losses. Sydney beat them by 11 goals, I want to say.
Yep.
Obviously, yeah, it's thrown it out.
They beat the Giants by 81.
How much did Freo beat them by?
Okay, so sorry, they beat the Bombers by 34, but they were
That's
up 50-0.
Yeah.
That was the Zach Merritt, not Entrecote. What's that place? That Melbourne. His wife, Zach Merritt's wife, left, and there was a big story. I've forgotten
Same.
the restaurant.
I can't
Somebody
remember.
tell us the restaurant. They got smashed by Geelong. They got smashed by Sydney. But outside of that, yeah, it's interesting. We've got a couple of super chats, Jesse.
We do. Rogie, thanks, mate. It's a shout out to Ed Allen, who got given the job to tag Bont in the 4th and kept him to 0 touches until he went off. Bont had 2 touches in the 4th. That's a great effort.
It is a great effort. I saw Anthony from Pies Footy did a little piece on Ed Allen.
Oh, yeah? Did you have him +1 or +2?
Plus
youth talent points.
1, I reckon.
Yeah, +1.
Yeah.
That's what we had him, I think.
Yeah. He was really good. The player that jumped off the page in this one for me watching the game was Jordan De Goey.
Yeah,
He
19
was
score involvement.
Absolutely ridiculous in this game.
Yeah.
He looked like Sullivan Roby.
He did. He looked like a young Sullivan Roby. He is obviously a huge factor for them when he plays. Yeah, 142 game day squad points, 19 score involvements.
19 score involvements. I think a lot of those might have come in the second half as well.
Right,
He
yeah.
might have had like 15 in the second. Don't quote me on that. I shouldn't say that if I don't actually know. But he was ridiculous, but still not enough to get Collingwood across the line. You just sort of feel like this is sort of it for them.
Yeah, well, they've had 4 losses by 6 points or less this year as well, which is the inverse of the Bulldogs. And that kind of reflects on the ladder. And obviously, it's cliche, but those 8-point games are going to really matter come September. I think their mitts are sliding off the top 10 spot.
Yes.
Little slimy, slippery, sweaty mitts.
They're doing these ones.
Oh, that looked like something else.
Yeah, it did. No chance of any of these teams doing anything. We can just draw a line through them. They're both shithouse, and we don't have to speak about them.
Yeah,
again.
I think one of them plays finals.
I think they both play finals.
You think Collingwood play finals?
Oh no, I do. I
No, you
had
don't
them
think
outside.
that, do you?
Sorry.
But you mean by doing anything to about being a serious contender?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't know with Collingwood. Like, I don't know how they get themselves out of this situation. It's difficult to understand. And what I mean, I don't even necessarily mean for 2026, but
The list.
like, yeah, what are they going to do? How do they reinvent the wheel here?
They're going to need to top up. As funny as that sounds, like I think for their position, I think pick 6 or whatever they have, I don't know what it is. It's probably going to be like more like 8, 9, 10. That is a valuable commodity to them, whether it be a trade or take it to the draft. That is so important for them. I think they also need to be considering a Lachie Neale.
Yeah.
I think they'd be considering a Hayden McLean.
Yeah.
Certainly a Jed Walter. We've kind of done this topic to depth, but they need to reinvigorate their list massively. And I guess the important part for them is if they drop off a cliff from here, I'm not saying they predict that, but if they were to, then their attractiveness diminishes. And I think it's still important for them to maintain that strong brand presence.
I just feel like this year particularly, like they had a lot of cachet at the end of last year.
Yeah.
A prelim final was impressive with what they did, and they were on top of the ladder, and probably still had that aura of the probably the top like tactical team in the competition. And to some degree that's still there, but they missed the top 10 this season, if that is to happen. I know they've got the big club pool of Collingwood, but are players now with the movements on the ladder, like, are you more going to be looking at a team like, if you're a Darcy Wilson or whoever it might be, you're looking at a club like North Melbourne and going, I might actually pick them. I know that's an example that's close to me, so it sounds like I'm being biased, but I just mean that in general.
I get the point. Like in terms of the immediate prospects.
Yeah.
They've
They've diminished their own capital by not getting anyone in at the end of last year and waiting until this point. I mean, they got Jack Buller, right?
Yeah.
Not exactly a big sleigh.
A Moodle Neva.
Yes.
Inferno Trees also had a super chat. Thank you. He says, I just got to say, guys, picking Ned Long in his team to play him as a full-time forward has got to be an all-time selection howler.
Yeah, I heard the commentary talking about that the other day. I haven't actually really looked into the role that he's playing, Ned Long, but it did seem like a strange one. Like he feels like a contested inside mid-bull and doesn't seem like the sort of player that would have the athleticism to play in the forward half of the ground unless he was being like a marking target and sort of just drifting there.
Yeah, no, I'm not too sure about that one.
Not too sure about that one.
Blair Dowker also, thank you so much. This has been a lot of fun, guys. Thank you for a great stream. Thank you for being here, guys.
Thanks,
all of
mate.
you, particularly you, Blair.
This has actually been a
everyone.
particularly fun one for me. I think we're like, Jesse and I, we had the stream last night. Like we're both probably a bit tired.
Yeah.
And I just can't stop laughing.
Yeah,
Like,
true.
it's really, honestly, guys, it's really hard to be here when you say something and you just look
Yeah.
up and
Yeah.
I just see Jesse like laughing at something in the background. And I just can't pull myself together.
Oh, I so nearly broke about 10 times with Fiona last night. That's such a good fun stream.
Yeah, that was fun.
Oh, and Bradley Spencer also dropped a super chat as well. Thank you. There's no message attached to that one. I'm not sure if that's deliberate. Bradley, if you accidentally sent that with no message, just write the message.
Write the
underneath.
message and we'll read
But
it.
Thank you so much.
Teresa also sent a super chat as well.
Oh.
Thank you so much, Teresa. I miss Oscar Steen.
Oh, I missed that one. Oh, there it is. Yep.
You got it?
Yeah.
I miss Oscar Steen. I actually want to throw this one back to you, Teresa. Are you missing... Do you think Oscar Steen not being in the team now is affecting you on the field right now? Or are you just missing the fact that you've got something excited? Like he was that young player in the team that's really showed improvement. And I feel like for Collingwood fans, that's where they're at the moment. It's like they just don't have anything to hang their hat on.
Yeah. Oh, totally. I get that. You do kind of want to look for those exciting things in a time like this. So that's really unfortunate. But who knows, in 12 months, they might have a bit more young talent on the list.
Taj Horn makes a really good point here. If they take Jack Buller, Membry and Hayden McLean, it'll be the Sydney Reserve forward line.
Good point.
That's such a good shout.
True.
Wow. How do you, like, when you're a team doing that, you must kind of sit back and go, they're like, all these picks in isolation, like we feel like we need to bring them in, but this can't be good. This can't end well.
Yeah. Yeah, they need to do something though. I think Hayden McLean's far from the worst shout, but you'd rather a Jed Walter.
You would.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely more of a talent player. Although Collingwood, at least in recent history, haven't sort of relied on having those like superstar level key position forwards like a Walter.
No, but they're going to be a completely different team. The next iteration, I've thought.
Yeah.
Have thought.
Yeah, 100%. Bradley Spencer says, do teams look at Hawthorn prior to GWS and Sons entry as a list build model for riding out the new team entry and staying successful?
Well, the Hawthorn list build model, it was comprised of late trades, late draft pick gems, and very few top end picks nailed. It was built around a system with Sam Mitchell, and they became a...
Are we going back to the like...
I was thinking
when the expansion Cubs or this
I was
this
thinking
time?
this group.
This group.
Because I would describe the
Yeah.
expansion era... Sorry, Hawthorn's previous list build is completely different, established around high draft picks that they nurtured through... They built a nucleus of Roughhead, Franklin, Luke Hodge, Sam Mitchell, who was admittedly pick 36 or something, and then sort of re-energized the list around them. Whereas the Hawthorn list right now, it's comprised of so many players that you just wonder if they'd be as good at other clubs.
Yeah.
Individually.
That's certainly...
Like a Mubby or Chol or a Massimo. I think they're better players at Hawthorn.
Do you think that comes down to Sam Mitchell's ability to get the best out of players, or do you think it comes down to his system that gives them something like... not simple to do, but like it kind of just works for the player attributes?
I think it's both. I think he's got to be good at getting the best out of his players, but I do think system.
I suppose
is
that's a
huge part of
fundamental
it.
thing.
Yeah.
I always wonder with the Sam Mitchell system with the play, like, did Sam Mitchell walk into that team and say, "I've got this way that I want to play with a really specific way I want to move the ball," or did he come in and go, "I've got these players that kick the football really well"? There's almost like a Hawthorn DNA of like the Clarkson era, where it's like a lot of good kickers in the team, halfback flankers, a really big D50 transition team. And he went, I'm going to build that game plan because of the players, or kind of the other way. It's like chicken or egg.
I'm not sure. You'd have to sort of remind me. It would take a fair bit of analysis to look
Yeah,
at exactly what it looked
I'd
like.
need to go into the list a little bit
You
deeper.
need to know what it looked like when he got there. But maybe Hawthorn fans can shed more insight.
Absolutely.
I think I did do a video on it, but that was a while ago now.
Yeah, I've never really, I've never looked at the specific year, like the year that Mitchell came in, and how long have the recruiting team been there? Were they like legacy from Clarkson, or did they come across with Mitchell? I think those things are fascinating
Yeah.
when understanding the overall strategy.
True.
We've got 156 in the chat, guys. Thank you so much for being with us. This has been a really fun one. We've got a few more games to go. Teresa, did she get back about... Yes. Teresa says, it affects us. He helps with the clearances and lets DC float more freely. So
Fair.
thinks it's a point for the now as well, which is a good take.
Yeah.
He did have, I think it was the debut game that he had where he just...
GWS?
Yeah.
Yeah, from centre ball
Center,
up.
center ball up.
Centre ball up.
He absolutely smashed it. We move to the next game.
Melbourne GWS?
Melbourne GWS. Just got to get my graphics. This is harder than it looks. I swear.
We miss our producer, but you're doing a fantastic job.
I'm trying my best. So 19-5, 119, the Giants to 9-16, 70. Did Melbourne kick themselves out of this game?
I think they lose either way. I think they lose the expected score by about 3 goals.
Could have been more in the game then.
Yeah, certainly. There's no doubt about that. I just don't know if they would have actually won the game. But 19 goals 5 to 9 goals 16 does tell quite the story, doesn't it? Mind you, Melbourne, Cozzy Pickett kicked an insane goal.
Yeah.
That surely wouldn't have counted on XG.
That one where he sort of like nonchalantly, like the ball's just trickling towards the boundary line. It almost felt like he didn't even attack it that hard.
Yeah.
He just kind of was like...
Yeah, he just barely looked.
Cruising over to the ball,
Yeah.
just checked his like surroundings, did a little bit of a scan. He's like, okay, get it and kick based on the players that are around me. Just pick the ball up, snap, goal.
Yeah,
Like-
it was absurd. And that was when the game still felt like it was on. And then it got away from the Ds. It resembled a bit of a Simon Goodwin era loss where they'd have the numbers in their favour but lose the game.
Yeah, more inside 50s.
+8 in clearance, but they were 2 goals 8 to 7 goals 2 from stoppage.
It's one where Max Gawn had come in after the game and he'd be like, well, we've got to pick ourselves up from here. It was a Melbourne game.
Yeah.
It's a Melbourne game.
Melbourne game. It's +16 inside 50s is pretty monstrous as well as far as dominance goes, but it didn't feel like they were dominating because GWS was so clinical.
The one team that you don't want to have that, and it's a worry to have that inside 50 count against, is the Giants because of the way that they move the ball. There was a moment in this game where they go inside forward 50. It was really early in the match, and it was like, Giants... They feel on here, and it was a handball receive for Callahan, who just he came out of the stoppage that they lost, runs in, gets a handball receive, and just hits this piercing ball, 45 meters up the wing. They come back through the corridor, just coast to coast kick a goal, and when they're scoring that easily from defensive transition, and I think that's the problem with the way that Melbourne are playing. Like as much as they're very attacking and fluid on the ball when they go forward, they're pretty easy to cut apart if a team is half decent on attack themselves.
Yeah.
So
fair enough.
Yeah, they can waste a lot of energy getting those numbers, winning clearances and those sorts of things. And the other team, if they've got a little bit of bite from halfback, will hurt them.
Yeah, totally. We saw that on display here. I think the Giants, I actually watched this game with Cade McDonald, and I think he made the point, you turn the ball over in your forward pocket against the Giants and you're like, oh no.
You're scared. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's crazy. Callahan had a monstrous game. He had 27 rating points, 151 game day squad points. All having a fantastic season, or at least the last little bit that I've been paying attention. A great season. You know who else is having a great season is young Harvey Thomas.
Harvey Thomas.
Yeah.
Did he have 25 in this? And
24 and 2.
24 and 2.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just kind of becoming a standard game for Harvey Thomas.
Yeah. How seriously do you think we should take the Giants as a threat?
Seriously. And a player that you didn't mention then that is just going under the radar is Brent Daniels.
Yes.
That guy can play.
Yeah.
He's like a pick 26 from back in the same draft as Sam Taylor. I reckon the Giants took Daniels into Taylor.
Yeah. And there was Bolter and Oscar Allen around that range.
Yep.
Or Tim Kelly.
2019, is that?
21. 17. Yep.
Yeah, gotcha. He's an incredible player. And I think when they've got all of that small forward brigade up and running around, because it's that's what it feels like it's been for the last couple of seasons. It's like they've had, yes, their midfield's right, or their halfbacks are right, their key defenders are right. They've always got one thing missing. It's the small forwards. Now they've got Cadman back. Sam Taylor comes back in. Brent Daniels comes back in. They've got all the pillars in place, I feel.
Yeah.
Callahan's up and firing. As long as this team right now stays fit, I can't see them not going on a bit of a mini run.
Yeah. I think I think they've got some big games to come, but they come against teams they play well against. Like I think they meet Carlton soon, but I think they play the Blues fairly well from memory, and it's in Sydney.
Well, that could be a similar game to this, where Carlton have like plus 15 inside 50s and get smacked.
Yeah, I think they've got a game against the Cats in Sydney as well, and the Cats are a bit of a bunny for them.
As in they like playing the Cats?
Yeah, they like playing the Cats. I think so. Yeah, I reckon their record recently is very good.
I think they beat them at GMHBA last year, didn't they?
They did. I think they beat them twice last year. Yeah.
The Giants have over this period have been a team for me, and I don't really know what this means, but they'll beat all of the best teams. Like they could have a season where they beat every team in the top 4, but they'll lose twice to the Western Bulldogs.
Yeah, they hate playing the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
3 weeks ago, I wrote them off because they lost to West Coast. They were horrid in that game.
Yeah,
it's a completely new team that's come out. Which is frustrating.
Were they brilliant?
Oh, yeah. And they just ran into the immovable object that is West Coast.
I don't know if you heard David King this morning. He was talking about the Essendon West Coast game, and he's like, Solomon came out and he's like before I start anything, he's like, they were brilliant, like blah blah blah. And David King's like, we've got to stop this.
Yeah.
We're going to stop giving credit to teams like West Coast. They're not brilliant.
That's fair.
Yes. So that was GWS and Melbourne. To summarise that, I think, the Giants are real. I think they've always been real.
Oh, it's just frustrating. It's frustrating as someone who talks about footy to try and get a handle on this fucking football
because
club.
it's so inexplicable to why they go, well, they've had injuries, haven't they? But
they have. But I think it's been in their DNA for a few years not have complete seasons. But yeah, injuries would certainly be a factor.
You still could make a case as well. Like, even though I'm saying they're dangerous and they're going to beat up teams, you could still make a case that like their clearance profile's not there.
No.
And they still get beaten around the ball too much, which I think that's why they lose to a team like the Dogs, because they're super potent from clearance. So they can actually score against them from that source, whereas not every team can. You come up against a Demons or a Carlton, and they won't hurt you as badly.
No,
they'll beat you around the ball, but they won't score. So Melbourne have Collingwood next. The Giants get St Kilda.
Melbourne
That's
and
the
GWS
sort of game that the Giants could lose.
Oh, sorry. The Saints do play the Giants well because they beat them earlier this year.
That's what I'm saying. That's the sort of game that they'll drop.
Yeah, it'll be in Melbourne too, but it will be Marvel.
It's in Marvel.
Ooh. Yeah, tricky one. Obviously, the Saints missing a few themselves, and Naz probably not back. I'd imagine.
I don't think so.
I need to have another look at that, but no, that's an interesting one actually. You'd think the Giants would be too good.
You would. You absolutely would.
Final
and that
game
actually brings us to West Coast and Essendon.
Hey, I don't know how much there is to say. I think we've talked about it from a West Coast point of view. Game day squad points, Dersma 127, most on the ground, and Murdoch 120 was close to the top as well. But yeah, satisfying win. I think 12 months ago we at least make that a dogfight at best, and I think we were just we put them at arm's length, particularly early in the third quarter, and we got beaten in the last quarter. But
I thought I'd do a little bit of an audit on your hyperbolic reaction to the start of West Coast games to see where we're at. So Richmond game.
Yeah,
you were saying last night you're like, I was right in the Richmond game.
When you say audit, did you go back and watch it?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
God, no. So that game, you said this is a worry.
Yeah.
Right?
Great call.
And it was a great call. But then I thought, but he also said that against North.
Yeah.
Early in the season. You were really worried in the first quarter.
We were playing poorly.
Yeah.
We were also 5 goals down.
But you won.
Yeah, but I mean, who can pick that? We're 5 goals down.
I'm just saying the radar's not as perfect as you think it is with West Coast.
Yeah, sure. I think it's different when you're like, the game's even, be like, the vibe is off in this game versus we're 5 goals down against North Melbourne.
Yeah. I wonder though
how
much is like, it's trauma of like, this smells bad.
For sure. In this game, I don't even take back what I said about there being alarm bells. I think the alarm bells were there. It's just that Essendon didn't come out in the second half.
No, they didn't.
That we won that game primarily for a 10-minute patch. I think Dean Solomon said we kicked like 8 goals in like 20 minutes.
It was the start of the third quarter.
Yeah, and it may be right before halftime. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think they were okay up until that point. But they absolutely, I don't know what the best word for it is. Like they capitulated. They gave away ridiculous free kicks, stupid free kicks. Their kicking was just fucking awful in that game.
Yeah, it was.
Like they were just kicking to open space. 2-on-3s, 1v2s to West Coast, and you guys were just able to mop up, transition the ball. I don't know what they were doing. A lot of that was experienced players for them. Merritt, Parrish, these types of players. Edwards was friggin' awful in that game. I don't know what he did. He only did bad things.
Yeah. He ran into an open goal. I think he kicked it. I remember that.
I think he kicked it.
Yeah.
He ran into an open goal. I think he kicked it.
How about Ben Mackay forward and in the ruck?
I didn't mind
Was he
it.
in the ruck? He was, yeah. He won like 6 clearances, yeah.
Yeah. I think we thought that he was in there a little bit more than he actually was. I think, he had 6 clearances, 6 hitouts. So they were still going with Nick Bryan mostly in the ruck, but he did play key forward as well. And it looked like he was in there before Archer May went down. So it wasn't just a reactionary, we're playing him up there because we need a key position forward.
No.
Interesting. I think it's a way to get him into the game.
I liked it, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's worth a shot, to be honest. But overall, I mean, Sullivan Roby was probably another glaring positive.
Yeah.
If you call it glaring positive. But I think if you look at the age and experience profile, I think West Coast was slightly more experienced and slightly younger, but it was pretty neck and neck. So we're talking about 2 really young sides here. We have to bear that in mind with Essendon's injury list as well.
I think you have to take into consideration like a couple of things. Like I agree with you, the teams are sort of similar. I think an Essendon fan last night said that they were slightly younger than you guys, but I think it's like negligible.
I think he was slightly wrong.
Oh,
but
okay.
it was negligible. I think we were more experienced, but we were younger.
But it's I think in this particular, like with the context involved, it was more about what Essendon are going through at the moment with what's happened. And then there's a trip to Perth built into that as well.
Yeah,
I think it was unlikely they were going to win that game.
I totally get it from the Essendon side. I don't know if West Coast had earned like favoritism properly yet.
Yeah.
But honestly, to be fair, it's been a fairly good 4 weeks from West Coast after a horrific 4 weeks before that.
Yeah.
So.
I think watching, and I even go back to the St Kilda game, and I remember texting you during this game, and you were very negative at that point. I think it was a really bad, you'd had the Sydney game.
Oh, yeah.
They absolutely pumped you. But I was watching that game and I'm like, these guys they're a bit all over the place. They're horribly skilled, but they're having a crack. They care.
I don't know if we had a crack in the Sydney game.
No, the St Kilda game.
Oh.
I was watching the St Kilda game.
Sure.
Which was a shit performance, really.
Yes, St Kilda West Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think we did have effort for 3 quarters and then got obliterated once we dropped off. Yeah.
No, I just thought in that game that you did a lot of things right. It was more of a final polish thing, which I think, and I think West Coast have rocked up this year a bit more than even you've given them credit for.
I'd say that we actually rocked up pretty consistently last year. We were just nowhere near close to like winning games. It feels like the opposite this year, where I'd say more often than not we've shown up. Yeah. But I don't think we showed up against. Well, maybe we only truly didn't show up against Sydney and St Kilda.
I think there's a difference between
think about it.
Showing up and fading away in the last quarter when you're a young side.
Yeah. Oh, we showed up against Richmond, but that was still not a good performance.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, correct. And like at times, like the skill is so bad that you can lose a game just on the poor skill.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. And, it tires you out when you're chasing ass because you've turned it over.
Yep.
Spinkscape says, cheeky of the AFL website to release the 6 things we learned before the final game and declaring that Jagger is the out-and-out likely winner of the Rising Star only for Dursman to have a big game. I think I'm pretty okay at not being Eagles biased. I know I talk about them a lot, but in terms of my opinions, I'm not. But is it just me? I think Dursman is so much better than Jagger Smith.
I think he's a much better player.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a more talented player.
I can't understand why Jagger would be the favourite, though.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of... So playing in here, I think how West Coast are rated as a team, I think is coming into this a little bit. I think there's an expectation that Carlton are going to win more games this year. I know they sort of haven't done that as yet. I think that plays into it. I think there's probably a little bit of what you guys would call Vic bias in the sense that Carlton are just in those more primetime games.
Yeah, I suppose. He's definitely getting talked about more.
He gets talked about more. And the other thing is like Jagger through his entire career, including juniors, is like he wins a lot of the football. And if you're just passively viewing that and having a look at the numbers, it always looks good for him.
Yeah.
He's he can win 10 possessions in a few minutes in games. Like he's such a prolific ball winner. I think that's gonna help him in the quest for the Rising Star.
Yeah.
It generally does.
I'll be pretty disappointed. I mean, there is a long season left to go, but let's say it was decided tomorrow and Dersma didn't get it. I'd be pretty flat with that. We do have a super chat from Lewis. Thank you so much. He says, it looks like the Golden Eagles podcast prediction about West Coast copying Brisbane's rebuild is coming to fruition. 18th last year, 15th this year, next year, question mark. He did a really good video, Golden Wings podcast. It's been a little while since I've watched it, but I think the idea was just the types of players that we'd built, we'd recruited in the order in which we got them, and now we were about to start topping up, which is what Brisbane did with Charlie Cameron, eventually Lockie Neal. I reckon there was more before that. Anyway, it was a good side-by-side thing. But I suppose in terms of raw ladder position, yes, so far we're 15th. I think we're more likely to finish 16th. People's offering a Fife comparison for Dersma.
It's not a bad one. Not the end of his career.
I don't see it.
Start of his career.
I think he was always kind of like that inside mid aerial dominant player though.
Fife's first year, he was like a tall, athletic, jumping wingman.
Was he a wingman?
Yeah, he would have his early games. I reckon he played wing.
Okay,
maybe he played like a half. I can't remember.
He was recruited as a half forward, but I thought he pretty immediately became a mid.
I can see the comparisons. Like I remember Fife. It's actually crazy how much he changed across his career because he looks so light. You know how Dersma has those sort of prancing feet, and he looks like he's just like tiptoeing and like kissing the earth.
Yes.
Getting too weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like Fife did have a little bit of that. He had the twinkle toes a little bit.
Okay.
At the end of his career, how I remember him late, it's just he was this big contested bull.
Yeah.
And he was heavy. But I think that was a lot to do with all the injuries that he succumbed to.
I mean, different specimen genetically as well. I don't think... I know Fife was probably as skinny at one point, but I don't think the Dersmans, any of them, have that potential to be that big physically.
Yeah, probably.
And therefore, I don't see his game developing like
That's
Fife's.
a fair call.
Yeah.
That's a fair call. I'm just making some comparison.
Yeah.
I see the early Fife.
Okay.
I'm interested to see what people think about...
I feel like Fife was a bit more, dominant in the air, or at least mercurial in the air. I think Dersman's strong overhead, but not quite on that level.
He's pretty good overhead.
He's good overhead, but he doesn't do what Fife even early was doing, which was like those huge pack marks. We're not seeing that from Dersma. I think he'd be quicker. I think he'd probably be a better ball user for sure.
Definitely.
And be more that meters gain player. But I don't think he ever becomes a player winning more contestable than uncontested.
No, I don't either. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I don't think full form, but I can see there are some tall, athletic midfielders that there's a little bit there. I'm trying to think who's a better comparison
Bond,
for Dersma. Probably Bond.
Yeah.
He's a bit Bontish.
That kind of loping, graceful style.
Yeah.
Obviously,
but even Bond, like look how much Bond's physical body's changed. Like he's a lot bigger and more physical than he was.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's very true. Sharpie, thank you for the super chat. Says, read the skills. The wind was crazy at the stadium yesterday and not just consistently in one direction, but spiraling around. Rubbish was blowing around. Yeah, we did see the rubbish. I've never seen that before at Optus Stadium. That was incredible. So to kick 12 goals, 13, maybe it's not too bad.
No, 100%. I think it's just funny though, like some particular players were, and yes, you can blame the conditions, but like you've sort of got to play the conditions as well. Like Merritt was going for those like inside around the body kicks consistently that were just like not hitting targets and just not working.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck Parrish was doing. So like there are conditions, but sometimes when you have those conditions, it's like maybe just kick to the contest.
Yeah.
You don't have to hit those Hollywood passes. I don't think Harley Reid had a problem with his kicking.
Nah, not from memory. No. Should we do Stank or Bank before we finish up?
We should do Stank or Bank. Let's get to it. The first one, it's on West Coast.
Hey.
Of course. 3 consecutive years West Coast has had a mid-season draft pick come into their waffle side and look a level above those already on the list. It's not the flex some seem to think it is. It actually goes to show just how little development we have seen from blokes on our list. It's from Tommy on Twitter.
Yeah, okay, so first of all, the mid-season draft is the best state league players usually. So I'm not surprised that the top Sandful and Vic mids are coming in and being the best players in the Eagles waffle setup. By default, that kind of makes sense. I don't think it teaches us anything about West Coast list. I think we've known the depth has been terrible. On development, I don't know if our development's been poor. I think we're still learning that over time. I don't think that's why we are where we are. It's probably the list composition prior to all this. But I guess if the overall statement is West Coast list sucks, then it's a bank.
I suppose it's probably mostly Tom McCarthy and Milan Murdoch coming in and just seemingly being like,
I think it would be
in
in
your
response
top-
to
no,
Herbert
no-
as well.
Herbert. Okay. Yeah, okay.
And
yeah,
Franco was pretty good as well.
yeah, fair enough.
Hutchinson
Not so much.
Hutchinson dominated his first game of Waffle and hasn't really been back in that side too much. I still think probably counts as an example, but not as good as the players that we just talked about there.
So you think the development and everything like that's pretty sound?
In terms of like the players the Eagles have recruited and the ratio of developing well to busts, I think it's pretty normal.
Okay.
I don't think we're blowing too many picks.
So you think it's more of a thing of just those Murdoch and you think the VFL's a higher standard,
Definitely.
which helps,
And certainly like the Eagles reserve side is as bad as the AFL side in terms of how, in fact, it probably has won lesser games than the AFL side. So I'm not surprised. They've got amateur players as top ups.
Do you feel that's maybe like mistakes of the past in recruiting then, that like you don't have the quality of players even at Waffle level?
I think we've had so much turnover on the list. Like a lot of those players would be 21 and under. No doubt bad recruiting sort of led us to this horrific downslide prior to that. But as for now, no, I think we have a normal amount of spuds on our list, like for a rebuilding team. You know, like we're going to shed a few this year.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's abnormal.
Yeah, okay. I do probably have a bit of and it's a completely sort of, I haven't unpacked it properly, but just looking at West Coast overall list, I sort of think there maybe are, like some guys come into the senior team and you go like, how the fuck's this guy? Like a little bit more than other teams, maybe slightly more.
Fair. Any examples?
Probably do need to come up with an example now to actually bring this in. I mean, I look at some of the leaders. Like Liam Duggan's probably an example, but he sort of is a necessity to be there. I thought Tyrell Dewar was going to be a better player. I need to bring up your list a little bit now because I'm struggling.
I don't think we need to deep dive it too hard. I think I agree with your point generally. We need to cut hard from the Waffle team this year.
I mean, players like Brockman. I look at. Yeah. I mean, Tom Cole. I know West Coast fans don't overly rate him either, but I'm kind of not sure what he is exactly. I think maybe you've cut a few of these guys. I'm not making a great point here.
That's okay.
Bazzo, Brock. I know.
Oh, I like Bazzo.
Yeah.
He hasn't had a lot of continuity.
Jake Miles Renzi, whoever that is.
Oh, he's a cat B, like basketballer we converted.
I'm like,
he's our Killian Burke.
How can I make my point?
It's fine. Let's move on. Is there another Stanker Bank?
There is another Stanker Bank, of course. We've kind of discussed this, but Daniel Cherney says, hell hath no fury like Charlie Curnow against bottom two sides.
Yeah, that's a bank, I suppose. I mean, it's undeniable. Whether or not you think it's a criticism, he's obviously destroying bottom sides, and he has done for a while.
Yeah, there was actually a follow-up to that from David Lithgow, who said, Charlie Curnow has copped it from nearly all Blues fans. Most of the Melbourne media that he was either over the hill or a flat track bully. Today gives them more legs.
Yeah, I think that's funny. We'll bank that.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Okay, coach chat. Okay. This one about Brett Ratton. I just thought this was kind of timely given the James Hird news and all that sort of stuff. But Ben Hogan says on Twitter, poor old Brett Ratton. He's been sacked twice after taking teams to finals to be replaced by Malthouse and Lyon, who haven't gotten those same sides anywhere near the levels he had them playing at. I could actually coach and both clubs fucked up.
That's a pretty good point.
Stankable.
Probably need to
bankable.
Bankable. I think I need to think about that more before I certify it a bank. But I think he's made a compelling point there.
I do feel like there's an element of Brett Ratton where he seems like a really nice guy and actually hurts him.
Okay. How so?
I feel like he's looked at as this kind of a bit of a PE teacher. Okay. More so than an actual like hard-nosed coach. And in both those examples, he gets replaced by like this old school, you know, Mick Malthouse, Ross Lyon type figure who's very much like an authoritarian. Sure. And he seems like this young, modern, nice guy. And he's not drastically overperforming enough where you're like, we have to keep him in the seat. But he's that pretty good examples of like unfair dismissal for where it's gone after he's lost his job in both of those situations.
He'd be vindicated to some extent. I don't know if Frostline is failing, to be fair.
I don't think he's failing.
Yeah.
But was Brett Ratton failing? That's the question. He had to lose the job.
Yeah, they played finals in 20, and I think Ross took over at the end of 23. Start of 23. Again, I'd need to look into that more. But I like it. Yeah.
I think it's an interesting point.
Point.
We'll bank that one. I don't really know why I put this one in, but I just thought it might piss you off a bit. This is from Toby. It says, Fife walking out with a cup in September is going to change the world.
But he won't win it.
No.
If anything, like...
But I guess he'll just be there.
If you were someone who hated Fife, you would probably feel a sense of satisfaction that he missed out. I'm not saying that's me. But no, like I don't really care that much. If Fremantle's won the flag, my life sucks anyway. But
you have said in the past that like once they do that, nothing can hurt you.
I'm basically there already with football. Honestly, I've seen so many revolutions.
It'll be more annoying than you think though when it happens.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I think it'll bother me more in September than it does in June. You know what I mean? Like right now, I'm sort of pretending it's not real.
Yeah. Gotcha. But it's future Jesse's problem.
Yeah, but it is what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think Fife holding the cup is going to burn people.
Yep. Okay, we'll go on. Darcy Parish.
If anything, it's more depressing. Yeah, continue.
This one's from Percy the punter. Darcy Parish has the skills of a 10-year-old at Auskick. I don't even know why I put that in there. It's just how I felt.
Yeah.
I read it and I'm like,
typed it.
Good. Yeah. I am Percy the punter.
Yeah. I think...
Percy the punter.
Yeah, I think that's a bank.
Yeah, he was atrocious.
I mean, it's pretty mean, to be fair.
It's really mean.
Yeah.
He is a footballer, and we're saying that his skills suck, but...
Yeah. That's funny.
Tough times. This one is from SEN, in fact. And somebody did bring this up as a super chat before. Why does Uze just get a free pass from these performances?
Oh, it's word for word almost.
Yeah. Should the Tigers be copping more heat after their shocking outing against the Swans?
I think we've already discussed this. I think probably not at this stage. It's a fairly isolated performance for Richmond.
Yeah, for this season.
Yeah.
For this season. Probably their other worst ones against North.
Yeah. I think that's going to happen with these young teams. I think with Uze, as I said, he's barely had a team for most of the time he's been there, which doesn't mean that he's the right man for the job. It's annoying because it sort of pushes away that expectation. And maybe it leaves them longer with a coach who's not right. From the eye test outward looking in, I don't think he's doing a bad job.
No.
As we said, I think somebody said it in the chat earlier as well. I think it was Eagles Unfiltered, if I'm not mistaken, said Richmond play with an intent and spirit that
I completely
think
agree.
They've done that more consistently than the Eagles, for instance.
And I don't think they've
Essendon.
got... I don't think they've got a development problem or anything like that. I think if you... Like, the only argument you could make is they just... Like, they don't have fit players to develop. But, they're not really getting much stagnation. So I agree with you. This one's on the Eagles priority pick. Glad the AFL gave a priority pick to the biggest team in the country 7 years after they won a flag. They really needed it.
When did he post that? After we beat Essendon?
Yeah.
As though
It's an
vindicated?
Essendon fan salty that you guys got a priority pick. And I thought that's why I brought it up, because there is talk that Essendon, from their fans, that they should be putting the hat out, asking for the money.
I don't know why it's only poor clubs that can get priority picks, as though the advantage of being a rich club isn't as significant as it's made it sound to be. It's not like Man United are getting help from the Premier League or Liverpool, right? Like it's not quite the same. West Coast are dog shit. If being wealthy was helping, they wouldn't be in this position.
Yeah.
As for the flag, I mean, that's a little bit more compelling, but my viewpoint has been...
I think the flag is the piece. It's the piece.
My viewpoint has been that if the priority pick exists to help teams be competitive and not fall through the floor into hell, then to what extent does a premiership 7 years ago, when most of the players are not on the list, actually mitigate that?
Yeah.
You know, that's not going to stop West Coast or Richmond, and it hasn't, frankly.
I agree, because the motivation from the AFL in these points of view is to make the competition not suck.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to do, right?
Yeah.
They don't want West Coast or North Melbourne barely winning a game and just being a bankable 4 points, particularly with an offset fixture like we have.
Yeah.
Because it just starts to ruin the competition. And like Spinscapes was saying before, it's like West Coast had a season or a couple of seasons in a row where like the Coleman medalist was like whoever got to play West Coast twice.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, no, I think I agree.
It's to help struggling playing groups and teams, not clubs.
But they don't care about it's the point I'm making is the AFL don't care about West Coast. They don't care about you as a club and how you feel. They care about the competition.
In theory. Yeah, that's true. I do accept that, okay, if you've won a flag 2 years ago, fair enough.
Yeah, you haven't been bad enough for long enough. But
I'm not saying ignore it.
I think the premiership actually comes to like an emotive thing for fans, and they try to make it about how do I feel. And Essendon fans saying, I don't think it's about. I know that they're going to bring it in like they haven't played in a final, and we spoke about this the other night. They haven't played in a final for how many years?
Well, they haven't won a final for that.
So they haven't won a final for however many days, whatever. It's ridiculous. But
22 years.
Like that's kind of your feelings, and like the AFL doesn't care about your feelings, and they don't care about the fact that Essendon haven't played in a flag. They care if you're really, really, really shit, which is kind of where Essendon feel like they're going.
Yeah, which probably haven't really been in that position.
Can you nip it in the bud though? Is it fair enough to like change your strategy? I know with like West Coast and North, they kind of waited until they were really shit for like 2-3 seasons.
Yeah.
Can you see where Essendon are going and actually get ahead of it?
And go like avoid getting that back?
No, like I mean, at the end of this season, can the AFL go like, I think we could give them a priority pick now, so that in 3 years they're better quicker. Why wait? They're heading there anyway.
I get the point because by the time a club needs a priority pick, the priority pick was needed 3 years prior.
Yeah, and it doesn't make you good enough, quick enough to even really get you out of it.
That's true, but I think there's a can of worms there if you start awarding priority picks before
you're in the top 4 and you're like, we're kind of going to get the ass will fall out of us.
Yeah, I think
slippery slope argument a bit though.
I think it's can of worms if you're preemptively awarding priority picks.
But from the AFL's perspective, can't you just play it on its merits?
Well, would Collingwood have been potentially, when they finished bottom 2 the year before McRae took them to a prelim, would they have been in that conversation?
No.
Oh, your list profile's pretty old, Collingwood. I know it wasn't as bad as Essendon right now, but I think that's the dangerous situations you run into.
Yeah, and that's an extreme example. Yeah. I think Essendon, it's a bit more of a, what have they won? One game in 24. So they're starting to put the runs on the board. Like it's looking pretty bad. What were they last year? Third bottom last year?
Fourth, I reckon.
Nah.
Maybe.
It went West Coast, Richmond, North. Essendon.
North finished third last.
Oh, we did too. I was thinking of the draft order.
Yeah.
Drafts on my brain.
Yeah.
Interesting conversation. This one's a bit of Jimby from Braden May. He says, Jimby is the best defender under the age of 22 in the competition. If he was in Victoria, fucking WA people love that.
You have used that.
I have used that tonight, but I'm allowed to because I'm not from there.
Yeah.
If he was in Victoria, we'd see him as a god-like figure.
I think there is a bit of truth to that. If he was at Collingwood, he'd have a bigger reputation. That being said, I think he is starting to get his plaudits now.
Yeah.
So, fair enough.
I also don't think... I do think the position comes into this a little bit. Like, do we think of many 22-year-old defenders?
No, that's true.
Key defenders as, like, godlike.
Who are the other under 22 key defenders that would challenge Jimby for that? I actually don't think you would have any.
No one's even close as a key.
No. Obviously, Connor O'Sullivan's a really good talent. I don't know if he's got.
He's not. He doesn't have the runs on the board of a Jimby.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's a good shout. And he gets as a talent. He gets his plaudits for sure.
If you're doing a 22 under 22, which I think Jimby still is, you might have O'Sullivan and Jimby.
Yeah, but I think Sam Taylor gets his flowers as an out-of-state key defender,
like not an under.
Not an under 22. I'm not saying. I'm just more from the point of view of like, I actually don't think the state thing comes into it like quite as much. But
Sure.
I did make that point before, so fair enough. I must say, I've appreciated Jimby a lot more in the last few weeks since you sort of put him on the radar. I always saw him as that failed mid.
Savage.
But he's all right.
Yeah. I do also think he's playing his best footy now. So there's always going to be a lag effect. For reputation lags performance.
Bank or Stank?
Yeah, he probably is the best under 22 key back.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'd
Yeah, and
go-
to be fair on Braden, I get his point.
Yeah,
I'm saying it's like a godlike figure's maybe too much, but I get his point.
a bit of mayonnaise, but yeah, I don't disagree.
He's making content.
Yeah, he is.
That's what we have to consider here. Did you have any more housekeeping to go?
I don't think so. I think
Jesse?
we're good. I think we're good.
We're good, are we?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, we've covered it all.
We've covered it all. All right,
Long
guys.
show.
Long show. How long did we go for?
Like 2.5 hours nearly.
Did we?
Or 2.25, I reckon.
I thought it was going to be a quick one.
Yeah.
We got through everything, guys. Thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah.
That was a fun live stream for me.
It was.
I had a really
and your
good
team didn't even play this week.
My team
There's
didn't
only
even play.
7 games and only one of them was good.
See, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, or 2 of them.
It doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
It's just about what you talk about.
Yeah,
That's
true.
all that it's about. Yeah, thank you to all the members. Shout out to all people in the chat. We still have 136 on the air, so thank you for being with us. We will be back, Jesse, next Monday, I think. I don't think we have a stream, and then we've got the West Coast North stream in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
After the Freo game, we'll be rocking that one, so tune in for that.